just gonna get overwhelmed as a long flank is making its way through. Kohler has since pushed up out towards heaven. The one-way cage, not gonna stop anything just yet. Harmon unfortunately gets caught out there. Now Kohler, the last one standing, the new addition to the newly signed DZ roster, falls, and only one falls on the side of FaZe for them to grab the pistol.
That was such a clean little execute. I was still kind of thinking about, oh, what's going to get done with these hot hands? And FaZe was already up catwalk, pushing on into the tree room. You saw that it took some very quick reassessment out of DZ to cancel that one out because they were ready for this aggression, this set play towards main. But that tree control kind of took a bite out of that one. And that's what FaZe excels at, taking things quickly and not allowing their opponents to think. We see it already in this pistol round, and as a result, it's now going to be DZ down onto the pistols. Kohler, as Kohler often does, will be investing the Sheriff to try and deal some damage, but FaZe Clan definitely looking to pick up a second here.
The duelist moving right behind that owl drone. Dash up through market, that door wide open. Ooh, and Kohler going to find the first there. Nice close range battle with the Sheriff coming out on top. All five, though, stacked up towards the spawn, and Corey's only able to net one. That spike will go down in the post plant. Not too bad. There's only 3 remaining here for FaZe. They have the weapon advantage, but the player advantage for DZ.
There's one man still holding tight towards Mark, but in the shock dart, perfect. It's just some damage. Baby J shuts down.
And the last one standing here is Baby J. Very healthy. As Anderson on the spike. They have to push for it. No, he's coming. Spike goes halfway. Anderson gonna hop off, try and play for the fight, and Baby J just working with the clock here. The spike stuck, and Harmon with the weapon picked up. The classics with one Sheriff on top of it are going to net DZ a thrifty win in the second round.
Baby J, maybe a little over-aggressive there. You saw him push the smoke towards spawn, then Kohler, with the one real weapon in that round, by way of the Sheriff, was able to shut everything down. So it's a really rough one for FaZe to lose. That just kind of wrecking ball of momentum once you grab up that first weapon can be so hard to contend with. Now in this one, it's FaZe trying their hand at just the pistols. I like that Harmon's pulling out the early Odin. We know that this guy on the Sova likes to do the Sova thing, likes to do the Odin thing, and try and get some work done with that one. As for FaZe, Spike not committed. They're just trying to work some map control here. However, Screw aggressive with the Jet. He's the only one that kind of stick onto the Spectre, so his life not the most useful. He can just try and get something done. Bait in for Ange, and he does that perfectly. One frag through, Anderson follows up, and the Antico looking much cleaner out of DZ.
Yeah, Baby J getting a little crazy, looking for something aerial and unable to find it. Ange takes a shot off the head, unfortunately not going to do enough damage. The range was there. So he stays alive with 5 HP. Corey's able to find one, so not a flawless here for DZ, but looking like a pretty easy round for them to secure. The spike still down, and Corey wary of a flank.
I have this bite.
And in this purchase, Screwface very healthy in terms of economy, so I'm wondering if we are going to get that operator here in the next after hanging on to that Spectre.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that they do play that bonus. I mean, it was what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Just use him as the bait. He has the tailwind. He can put a little bit of pressure onto FaZe, and then you just have Ange to slide on in and finish the job. For Corey, he's looking for aggression, but nothing really being given away. This is a well-controlled setup out of DZ. And for a team, I'd say they're kind of similar to FaZe, at least in their previous iterations, in the way they love their aggression, right? When they were DHBK, they were kind of a similar style of team that used that Bucky a lot, used the op a lot, especially when Screwface was on the Jet, to just get in your opponent's face, get something done. And so kind of balancing that aggression is something that's going to be interesting about this matchup, because really these teams, at least in that kind of previous run of VCT, had a pretty comparable play style.
And I think a lot of people are kind of, I guess it's still up in the air, right, as to how the game is going to be played. Is that Smeek style still going to work, right? Can you still play the aggressive style and get it done? You don't really have all the help in the world to kind of bail you out in terms of utility, because in some of the rounds you just can't afford all of it. But after looking at the games yesterday from FaZe, I mean, they had a heyday. They were having a good time finding frags as Corey and Baby Bay really getting things done. So let's see if they come online here as Anderson finds a flank onto Baby Bay and Baby J. So both the babies taken off the board as op shot goes wide. Screwface gonna fall. Zachary gonna net that one there. FaZe find themselves still down a player here in round number 4. They're looking to tie things up. The Empress is on, but time is ticking on that ultimate, and the From the Shadows is available. With that spike still in the hands of Zachary, the play could be made anywhere. We just saw in the last round, DarkZero, they don't give up a whole lot. They don't rotate off of nothing, right? Corey hung out outside of A for so long, and maybe you're thinking, okay, this might get a rotation of 1 or 2 players out towards B. They'll split the sites. No, it was still 3 all towards A, 1 out towards mid. They're not giving up a whole lot, and that's exactly what's happening right here as well.
Yeah, it's really nice to see because they're a team that, like I talked about, they can lean into the aggression when they need to get those early advantages, but the second they do, they pull back, they play the advantage, and Hinge, maybe a bit over-aggressive on that peak. Now, the A site is open for business, but it is advantage by 1. We'll make it 2 off the swarm grenade on the retake. Zachary in the clutch. What can he get done here? He has both the shadow steps, and he's the first to try and reposition here. Isolated duel, that's the necessity.
Yeah, and I like that shrouded step because that could be up on heaven, right? A lot of the times Omen will go up on top of that box. It does seem like they are privy after hearing that one, that he's right in the corner, and Kohler gonna do his due diligence to clear that one out. So the first rifle round picked up by FaZe, or coming into this one, it was their first rifles picked up, and unfortunately things don't go their way. I guess now the biggest question, with a 3-1 lead, did DarkZero grab the operator?
I think they did, because it was on the back of Anderson. Yeah, because he hit a shot with it as well. So he'll hold on to that one, be able to transfer that on over to Screw. That round actually could have slipped away from DZ for a moment there, because Ainge was in an isolated position in towards Wine. It was taken care of. Hard checked, actually, by the roster of FaZe, but unfortunately for them, the swarm grenades, the anchoring from Kohler was really good. And again, it's the control from DZ. Kohler, he gets aggressive enough to kind of spray that smoke and get his first frag, and then just backs off. Plays the 3v1, and in those 3v1s, it's hard to lose out on them, barring some big mistakes for FaZe. It's the Sheriffs in this round. DZ's giving them a lot of respect, a lot of space in towards mid, but the alarm bot will see this, will reveal this.
And a curveball just in case. It does keep the 2 players of FaZe out towards mid at bay for a second. And Baby Pay also given a bit of respect. Able to dodge out on the Owl drone. One going to be spotted and maybe not the next. I think the footsteps still heard either way. So that Jet not very safe. Going to take a dark cover to try and bail Baby Pay out. And that door being closed makes things a lot more difficult with only a Sheriff in hand. But it's still DarkZero holding their ground. 2 towards A, 2 towards B. Got Ainge out towards mid, shots to the wall. Harmon doing Harmon things with the Odin. Forced to reload here, and Screwface still holding B main, so they're not giving up anything. No free real estate here. The dash onto the site. Harmon finds the first. They're looking to explode, and unfortunately, they just don't have the weaponry to do so. Screwface forced to back away. The back end of a missed op shot. Clear goes out, the blind is there, no matter. Harmon finds a kill, finds a third. Give it all to Harmon here, looking for the ace. Only one remains, and there it is for DarkZero.
Oh, there you go, Harmon. Well, that's just the Sova difference for a moment there, getting things rolling with the LMG. And it was a bit unfortunate for Screw. He was isolated on the site with just the operator. Oh, why is this knife tiny? All right. Well, regardless of that, the operator got isolated on the site. There was no tailwind up for Screw, so they did pick him off. But in those situations where it's the quick retake coming through, even a recovered operator isn't going to do you too much when you're up against a guy like Harmon who can just hold the left mouse button a little bit. Well done to DZ to not let that slip out of their command. And, I mean, with the new Sova changes, having him get all those frags is fantastic because it's an early Hunter's Fury into the 6th round of play here, as it might be something quicker from FaZe towards A.
Everybody kind of getting a kick to the shin in terms of ult points. Some of those 6 going up to 7, some of the 7s going up to 8, and it doesn't feel the best. Dash on the side, though, for Baby Bay. They are looking to go right back towards that A hit that we saw early in the pistol round. A cage is there. Going to push on through it is Baby J, and unfortunately punished. It doesn't clear all the angles. Kohler finds another to lockdown. Look to push everybody off. We got 2 players out, 1 detained under hell. They look to take the fight right back to him, but Kohler not letting them on the site. Still a player to worry about is Zachary. Is going to go unchecked for now. Finds 2 kills on the round. Now looking to turn things upside down here. Screwface going to swing, but he had the operator. Couldn't find the kill, and Harmon has to do it again. Needs to find the multi-kills. There's the tag. The kill to come through. He knows exactly where the last player is, but he's running out of time. 18 rounds left here in the drum as Corey swings. Spike not halfway just yet, running out of time. The shots not gonna land either, so it's another A take for FaZe. That will secure their second round as the spike blows. Everybody goes 4-2 the scoreline.
Yeah, really just nice, quick execute out of FaZe. We got to give props especially to Zachary in that position, but none of that could have happened if DC had just checked. They should have been aware, at least, that there was a possibility of someone held, but in the chaos of that retake, no one took the time to fully clear the position, and Zach practically single-handedly makes that situation so incredibly winnable for Corey. So DZ, it's an unfortunate turn of events, but look what they've done to FaZe's money. All 5 players from FaZe's camp hit the ground in that last one, so the money's looking a little rough. Bulldogs, light armor up for a couple of these players as the tried and true A site again seems to be the destination. The new man on the block, Baby J, looking to lurk out towards mid. We've yet to see him fully commit to one of these, so let's see what he can do.
And I mean, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, right? Just keep going towards the A side until it doesn't work. Baby J able to hop on the board with that lurk out towards mid and still holding his ground, so not going to push too far forward. Doesn't want to get caught out just yet. Should he? It'll be Kohler to find that kill. Rocket's going to go with the Hunter's Fury. Finds a tag onto Harmon. Unfortunately, not going to find the kill there. It's FaZe still a player ahead. The spike is down. And DarkZero working against the clock. They need to find something as they enter the site in a screw face again. Operator in hand. Hot hands go through. It's going to force out the position. There's Zachary, but it's not enough to win the round just yet. It's all up to Ainge here. In a 1v3 situation, aware of the flank, aware of the players out towards heaven. Unfortunately, just running out of time, running out of space. Only 5 rounds left in the mag. Trying to find one more exit and unable to do so. FaZe will close the gap to 1.
Really nice lurk from Baby J in that previous round. He just had a lot of pressure towards mid. The second he picks off, I forget who it was, but the DZ player that was stuck in towards Cat, he kind of set the alarm bells ringing for this DarkZero squad. They had to not only take the time to commit to the retake, but also take the time to clear Baby J. And, well, you saw right then, right there, no time remaining to even commit onto the site. So they're just gunned down towards the heaven. Screwface is off. Hasn't really felt its impact too much, but that's because FaZe has just been doing a good job to not open up these sight lines for him to do his work. Odin's out, so are the Blade Stones for Screw. Will they be able to hold down B?
And a lot of utility already tossed out. Footsteps heard, Cage goes through. They're waiting for that Cypher or somebody to make a play out that way, but the rest of the squad looking to head elsewhere. DarkZero, I mean, still not giving up anything, right? Still holding down. They're still making sure that it is a full commit before they commit the rotate. They don't want to give up that A site for free again. It does look like a split out towards B. Baby J still working with 1K. Just going to toss it down. Not going to use that one just yet. Screwface goes up top. Look for something in the B main. Not going to spot it just yet. Just making noise in the cage. That actually draws some attention as the doors close. Nanoswarm to try and stop a push, and it's everybody stacked up towards Catwalk now. So again, they started off B. They want to end towards A, and it's Baby J finding damage on the lurk.
He's gonna throw his ultimate ability as well. This forces them to have to hard clear him, and the knives go wide. Another frag for Baby J, and he's still here. B-site's open for business, and Baby J just doing everything. Is it a lurk if you're just a one-man army? He's created the show. He's allowed access to the site. And DZ, just 2, a retake up against 4. FaZe turning things around in a big way off that lurk.
And I love that off the back of that. 3 kills away of Baby J, and he's still not getting over aggressive. He's still looking to play with the team. He's not trying to do too much in swinging those players that he knows are pushing through spawn. So he jiggle peeks, he gets the information, he backs off. That spike goes down, and now this is just the best place to be. In a 4v2 situation, FaZe looking to tie things up. Anderson not going to find the shots, unfortunately, leaving it all up to Kohler, who finds the first, finds the second. But 3 and 4 just out of range as 4-4. Now the scoreline, and something that I thought this was a little bit older, but FaZe have played Ascent just recently, and they were actually rocking the Sky on Corey, and they did really well. It was one of those games that they just absolutely demolished, but maybe not feeling too comfortable on that one as we kind of play, or the competition gets a little tighter, right? Now that you're playing DarkZero, you say, okay, maybe we got to stop fooling around. We have to go back to something that we know.
You know, the tried and true seems to be working perfectly. DZ's trying to change up how they play around B, but just look at the aggression. Baby Bay trying to do what he does best with the quick push off the knife, but somehow Kohler and DZ coming out on top. FaZe down to 2, and they have to concede. Those weapons will likely be recoverable. How can they fight their way back into this? Because this is a round that should have never went this way.
It was the hot hands to stop a push, and somehow Ainge still gets value. And FaZe knew that he was in that corner, that the crossfire was so perfect. The way that they were peeking off one another, it allowed for so much for DarkZero. And now FaZe down to their last 2. They are still in a pretty good spot in terms of the weaponry, right? I still think that it's mostly a thrifty outside of that Spectre in the hands of Kohler. But should they push up to those bodies, they should be able to find those weapons. And with that spike moving over towards A, that kind of gives, yep, there it is. You'd see it on the minimap. Free range, right? No more noise out towards B means a play towards A. They're going to find some upgrades. We'll see how the retake goes. Not a whole lot to work with. I believe 1 shock dart available. The Owl drone and a recon bolt as well for some information. See if that's enough for Raucus and Zachary to be able to lock this down and grab FaZe another lead.
They have to go aggressive here. Try and isolate one of these duels very early on, or else they're just going to get turtle over and ran down. And look at Harmon's alone. Raucus can isolate this.
Oh, Raucus finds 1, make it 2. Now the odds are even. Screwface narrowly getting bailed out there as Harmon finds the frag, the shot in the back, so the pinch out towards heaven. But again, it's DarkZero working against the clock. The recon bolt not gonna find the information, but the footsteps heard. Zachary drops down, the swing out, the classic is there, but Zachary goes clutch.
Zachary's so huge in those situations, coming up in favor of FaZe Clan. It looked like it was all going to go awry. Baby Bay, an ill-fated dash forward, an instant death, and then guns recovered for DZ. But Raucus, this aggression was so crucial. It isolates things down into 2 individual 1v2s. And well, the way that Zachary played that when it was down to just him was so perfect. Smoke up towards heaven, smoke in towards the tree room, wherever DZ goes. With the time remaining, they will have to push one of those dark covers. It's just so easy to pick them off when they have to funnel their way through. Heartbreak for DZ is now this scoreline looking rougher and rougher. If FaZe keep this up, they're already on the course for a very, very dominant attacker side.
Yeah, I mean, let it be known that that was okay. That is not that was a round that FaZe was supposed to win in the last one. That is not a fight that Corey was supposed to win. Harmon had the sights with ADS with the Odin. Unfortunately, couldn't find it. Now Kohler gonna make sure that Baby J not gonna find any more value on the lurk. Is gonna get run down though, and this is a little awkward. Kohler kind of playing a switch up spot there, looking like an attacker, but still a defender. He makes his way back in through A main. There's that from the shadows used with the spike in hand. It's both players that we know and love from that last round, locking it down on the A site, while the rest of the squad here for FaZe looks to close out the round. Screwface able to take down the Owl drone, not before getting tagged out, able to kind of turn the odds there. Screwface completely knew where he was at, but he still finds the kill. Unfortunately, he's a bit worse for wear as they go back into the retake. Nobody better here for FaZe to try and close things out, and that's exactly why. Another clutch round off the back end of a from the shadows for FaZe will net them their 6th.
Yeah, that's just so well played from FaZe, because they have that from the shadows in towards the A site, but they keep the fight up towards B. DarkZero, they cannot just rotate away from that pressure because they'll just get backstabbed instantly, so they have to waste probably half that spike timer. They put themselves into a situation where they're retaking with practically no time left in a 2v2, and FaZe has had just every bit of time they could ever want to establish that crossfire. So DZ kind of just getting outdone here for the moment. What can the change up be? They have pistols this round, and we know they've been good on these ecos, oftentimes off that early aggression. But after this, I wouldn't hate to see more aggression, honestly, because this very passive style, it feels like FaZe is fully in control of dictating things. And well, it looks like we actually do have a pause out for a moment. Not sure of the nature of that, but even if it's not attack, this is very good for DZ, because they need to fix things up. If they go down 8-4 in this half, then this map could very well be over. You need to be keeping things even. They have the util to do it with, right? They have that lockdown for Kohler. They're pretty close to that Hunter's Fury as well, so there's a possibility to get something done here.
Yeah, this is also it's still a decent position to be in, right? Because they're starting off on defense. So obviously they don't want to see an 8-4, although I do feel like that is, if it's going to be bad, that's where you want to kind of draw the line and say, okay, 8-4, we can come back from this one. But they're going to be going on the attack. So I think if we don't see aggression now here on the defensive end, then I do think that we start to see DarkZero spread their wings a little bit on the attacking side and start to use that aggression to their advantage, and then start to close the gap. Obviously, with the heroics that we've seen thus far already, you cannot give FaZe too much. You give them an inch, and they will take a mile. So to your sentiment, I think still important that they find some more rounds. And, well, this Thrifty not going to be that. It looks like a flawless instead, about to swing the way. And there it is. 3 for Corey, a closeout for Baby J, and a flawless round for FaZe.
All right, it was just the pistols there, so not too much special for DZ, but this is where the pressure is. You lose out on this, FaZe keeps the momentum into that second half pistol and can just roll you over into the next map. So for DarkZero, this is where it really matters. Harmon back in towards that Omen, the Omen. He's back into that Odin, and he's only 1 pip off of his ultimate, so that's something for them to work with. They have the lockdown as well in the retake, and I wouldn't hate to see them lean a little bit harder into these retakes, because pretty much thus far, it's always disadvantage. It's always kind of the late round retakes. It's never them committing to them early, so we'll have to see if they can make that change there. Again, poor posture from FaZe towards A. Just that lurk with Baby J. They're still actually getting aggro towards B main.
It is a take towards A, updraft, tailwind, shrouded step, narrowly missed there. Anderson's able to find 2 on the side, locking it down for a 3rd. It's all up to Baby J across the map, but he cuts it down to a 1v2. And Mimi, I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the round, but Baby J bought an Odin, and then the damage that you're seeing on Harmon right now, sitting right around half HP, is because Baby J sprayed back through the wall and penetrated to find that extra. So really heads up play by Baby J. Been so impressive here. And I'm glad that we get to take a look at it now that he has joined this FaZe roster. But the spike is down. He still has 2 players to worry about. And from the shadows, I don't think it's going to get a whole lot done here. Maybe we do see that one come out just for the weekly for Anderson. We'll see if that is the case. Glass broken. Camera goes up top, looking for something. Unfortunately, Baby J still clueless. Still working against the clock. 20 seconds. Now he's going to need to pull the trigger. That paranoia goes wide. The tag comes through. Heads up cam there. Doesn't get any better than that. 10 seconds left on the clock. Baby J looking to push heaven. Player out towards Dice. The shot in the back maybe is there. It's 2 HP. But running out of time, has to stick it, is going for the fight. Baby J, you absolute madman. But can't get it until it's too late. A 3K on the round. And if you had more time, Baby J, I would have had all the faith in the world. Either way, it's a DZ round and a 7-5 half.
Oh, that was so well played at the end there from Baby J. What a sneaky little camera. Tags out 1. That's how he isolates the rules, because you have to pull that little tracking dart out of you. And, well, it's a strong start for DZ. Winning out on that second round, going up 4-1. Never got too much better after that. FaZe swung the momentum into their favor. Just their kind of quick hits, especially in towards A, were fantastic. And when they needed to slow it down, the mid-rounding was as strong as we would expect. Especially got to give props to Baby J, because as the new addition to this roster, he's slotting in very, very well. The lurks have been on point. Pretty much 2 rounds won just by his kind of heads-up play. So you love to see that for the new guy in the team. And if you're a fan of DZ, you'd love to see them get this pistol, because the scoreline right now, a little bit rough. Still very much doable, though. Yet tucked in towards the dark cover.
Baby J falls back at possibly the best and worst times. The Screwface tries to take the fight right to him. Anderson, fortunately, on the receiving end of quite a bit of damage, and now completely stunted in this push. A dark cover going to slow things down for a second. Baby J going to play just on the outside. That spike looking to rotate over towards B. Should it do so, there is a cam. It will be spotted out. And there's also a player on the side. Speaking of cam, now no longer possible as Baby J, the first to fall here in the pistol. And Kohler goes on the aggressive towards spawn.
map control here for DZ with Kohler lurked up so far. Can get something done in the late round here. Zach could find this frag and will connect it eventually. That holds DZ back to advantage, but Rock is in position to deny this. Baby Bay refighting the space. Kohler, his turret combines to help him out and pushes it down to a 1 versus 4 for Corey, but good health. 2 of these DZ numbers already down to 1 HP. They know exactly where he is and should be able to shut this down.
Yeah, a couple of stray rounds will absolutely close out the health bars on a few of the DZ members. And you still have 2 charges of that Devour or that Dismiss. Unfortunately, Corey just has too much to clear there at Screwface. Close out the pistol. And this is why you've heard casters in the past say 7-5 isn't really a lead at the half. You want obviously a whole lot more than that. You want a 12-0, sure, in hindsight, but 7-5, if you lose that pistol, you're quite honestly looking at a 7-7 game. It doesn't feel any different than going 6-6 at the half. So an awkward spot to be in now for FaZe is it wasn't really aggression. I don't feel like it was just smart play and a really aggressive push that worked well for Kohler that won that round.
Yeah, I think Kohler especially was just the linchpin there. He was able to find some space towards spawn. He put the pressure solely with FaZe because they had to deal with fighting him out of that spawn position as well as trying to hunker down on the B site. Denying those rotations can be so huge. Whew, lots of damage actually done onto Screw, but Kohler so stoic here, just holding down against the push. Where will the spike end up? Doesn't really matter just yet as there's still a minute on the clock. DZ just applying this default, trying to shut down FaZe's aggression, which seems to be coming out next from Baby Bay as he tucks in towards mid, sheriff in hand.
Yeah, and that audible ooh from me was actually due to Screwface trying to take that fight with the judge, and that is not a winnable one, unfortunately, at that distance. So kind of a feels bad man there as Corey has assumed a position out towards Wine. Screwface gonna hop onto the side. Anderson closed out the 1 player on the site. The Nano Swarm goes through. It dinks Corey in the head. And he gets some revenge there. Finds a dink zone, and Harmon that's not what you wanted, buddy. The wall was too close. The wall was too strong. Now it's up to Baby Bay. The last one standing here is Anderson. Looks to close things out with a 4K. No, it's Ainge on the outside. So 3K to the Omen. Another round to DarkZero. And now things have since evened up. But this is where we get our third look at what could possibly be a bonus round. So this right here, outside of the game itself, just in terms of Valorant and Valorant 3.0, I'm interested to see where DarkZero go with this one. And it does look like they are just going to leave it at a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, we saw yesterday a lot of teams liking to put some money into this. I think it was Cloud9 that was keeping 2 of their players on Ghost to be able to buy a 3rd round rifle. But DZ, they're sticking with the classic stuff. That's unlucky that Harmon kills himself in the last round because that means he loses his gun and he doesn't have an ult point. So makes this bonus round that much less dangerous for the side of DZ. Baby Bay, I like that he's getting a little aggressive here, right? Like fighting the map control, keeping the space towards mid, but he's not getting overzealous. There was a couple of those attacking-sided rounds where I felt like Baby Bay may be getting a little bit too overconfident and kind of offering himself up. So discipline starting to show through for FaZe, and such a good drone. Spots out 3, but Screw shuts down. Trade there from Corey, though.
Screwface, big kill with the Sheriff. Still very healthy, able to dodge out on the shock darts there. And that Owl drone, it collateraled and it tagged 2 players. Although it spotted all 3, so that the double tag doesn't really matter. Was still cool to see there as Corey continues to play this close angle. I believe it's a judge in the hands of Screw and not even needed. It's just chip damage for Ainge to close it out. Anderson still trying to find a way onto the site out towards A main. It's Zachary holding it down all by his lonesome, but only for a second as Baby Day brings up the rear. The spike goes down, and there it is. The dynamic duo locking down the A site. And we go 3K for 3K. Anderson to Zachary. And now FaZe pick up another round.
I like FaZe's commitment to the fight towards mid there. They kept things even and then didn't finish the fight. Corey was able to just kind of hunker down for a moment and buy so much time. DZ forced into that late round push, and Zachary just doing an excellent job to anchor everything down. It's not a terrible round for DZ, all things considered, with the eco damage they did put in. It's going to force Corey onto a judge here. It's going to pull out the Bulldog for Baby Bay. So, not bad whatsoever for this side. And now we kind of get to see our first look at rifles versus rifles on DZ's attacking side. And well, for a rifle round, there's a surprising amount of judges out, one for each jet, as A site seems to be the look. Just Kohler working that lurk over towards B, and he might even be joining to the main front.
Drone used, run it back to follow. Is going to be sent back. Nice shots there through the dark covers. Baby Bay finds the actual Phoenix, takes him down. The dash away, not going to be enough for Baby Bay to stay alive. Screwface finds some value with the judge as door gets closed. Should be shot down. Nice and easy, like a 4v4 as that spike's been planted. Screwface finds another. Dashes forward, looking for more. Not able to find it just yet. 4 HP, says let's get out of dodge for now. Has some backup should he need it. It's still Kohler holding it out towards Catwalk as well. So the remaining 3 of FaZe still up towards heaven. Lear goes through. Corey gonna hop down. Unfortunately pays for it with his life. Screwface finally will fall, but it's only 4 HP, so it did not take a whole lot, and that spike is ticking. They've got to go right here, right now. It's Zachary and Raucus again. Look to clutch things out. Zachary gonna hold it to half, hops off the spike and finds the clutch. A 3K for the Omen once more, and FaZe pull it off again.
Oh, I saw what DZ had set up there. It was just the goal to stall Screwface. He knew that him staying alive wasn't the most impactful thing there. That just doing some damage and forcing them to fight out through the tree control was that much more important. But I don't think they ever knew that Kohler was there, or at least they kind of ignored him. So FaZe was just able to take those fights. Kohler late to rotate on in, and the clutch just not quite able to come through. It's a Punisher for DZ is now FaZe. They kind of regain that 2-round lead, and they'll push them down onto the eco. But thus far, rounds have been so incredibly close in this half, and DZ, they're not slowing the pace.
No, not at all. Just going right back to it. 2 ultimates going to be used here into this one as that lockdown gets destroyed. A field bad man to start off the round, and well, there go your knives as well. Corey finds 3 on the round to kick things off, and you're looking to have the element of surprise, but you were surprised yourselves as FaZe will find another round in a row and double digits on top.
I don't know how I feel about committing the lockdown there out of Kohler, right? Like, he put it in a position that was very easily wall bangable, and it's immediately destroyed. Then the knives tucked in here. Corey just knows when to be aggressive, knows when to shut everything down, and the work of the Empress, fantastic as we see back into the replay. Now for DZ, they are trailing by 3 here, but they have guns up to work with. Maybe now it's a matter of slowing down a little bit, because what I've seen from this squad before, back when they were the PG Flaws after they picked up Kohler, was that when they play slow, you can really just let Kohler do his thing. He'll oftentimes be able to kind of find the entrance. You have players like Screwface as well. There's so many kind of individuals on this team that can be very strong to make those forward plays, and you can just be a little bit loose, let them do their thing, go big. But for DZ, again, looking to work their way towards A, but it's a 3-stack out of FaZe to contend with.
Now Bulldog again, looking to get some damage, not able to find it. Anderson teleports onto the site with the ultimate and sticks it. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Screwface finds another kill. What a wonky way to secure the A site, but hey, if it works for DarkZero, as all 5 remain. All 5 still incredibly healthy. And it's Kohler out towards mid once more. Narrowly missing out. The over-under for Kohler and Baby Bay. But Baby Bay gonna find that kill there. So 26 HP. 26 health Bandit. Strikes again. Able to find that kill. Recon Dart. Gonna ping out too. Corey Rocket's just looking to take the fight right to him. Odin for Odin. Flash for flash here. Anderson's able to find another, and they get closed out. Baby Bay and Corey not long for this world. As DarkZero hop back in the win column.
I really thought that they were going to be able to win that round off of Baby Bay's play alone, because he knows that Kohler is always going to be a rat. He's always going to be on the lurk somewhere, so it takes the time to go and re-clear out the Killjoy, and knowing then that the utility is down, he takes that opportunity to commit to the flank. But unfortunately for him, the setup towards Hell was just a little too strong for DZ. And finally, they're able to hold on to a post one. I feel like there hasn't been too many rounds where we've been able to say that thus far. These A-site retakes have been a good look out of FaZe, but this time they couldn't contend with the Hell position. Baby Bay on the blades, very aggressive, lots of space here, but Polar immediately shutting down. The alarm bot helps out.
And Baby Bay, you know, kind of subconsciously there trying to shout at Screwface saying, that's not a knife, this is a knife. Let me show you how to get it done. And, well, unfortunately met by a whole lot of Killjoy utility and taken down there. So the Blade Storms have been a bit underwhelming on the game today here on Ascent. With that first frag, some information still tossed out. Baby J is going to take his leave out of B main, head back towards that stair position, and now will be the only member holding down the B site with no utility to stop this DZ squad from pushing in.
I think there is a one-way cage, but he has no way of knowing exactly when to trigger that, and it goes out a bit early. Won't be able to capitalize. Cam up, that's immediately broken. Now he has to know, but the rotate's so far away.
Screwface gonna push in off the back of the hot hands from the shadows, get Zachary on the site, but the Hunter's Fury will sit him down. Harmon comes up clutch there to look to close things out. Screwface goes on the aggressive and is punished for it. That's the same play that we saw Baby J, you know, playing safe about, understanding that they're out towards the spawn, but looks to play with the team. Screwface gonna do the opposite and will be punished for it. Now, 2v4 situation, this time, no longer Zachary and Raucus, it's Corey and Raucus to try and clutch things out, but it looks like they want to hang on to their weapons.
I feel like both Jets today are like, watch this epic play, guys, and then just instantly get shot. Like, both Jets being very well shut down. And that's good, really, for both teams, because a highlight of both DarkZero and FaZe is their Jet players. It's what they kind of were playing around in that last series. They were both these teams that they were kind of like the hallmark. I mean, it was mainly FaZe with kind of the big, like, Smeeg brand, but that aggression, that kind of unbridled space creation that both these guys bring, we really haven't seen it too much this map. They're making space, yeah, but the kills that we normally see aren't coming with that. So it's a bit unlucky for either squad, but the save is pretty good for FaZe. They'll keep two weapons into the next, and it looks like they will be forcing up around them as well. Corey can buy one over, likely onto Baby J, and Baby Bay, he can get something for himself as well. So FaZe, they're still looking okay. I'm sure they're still feeling fine, but there's a bit of momentum behind this DZ squad. And with a strong attacker team like DarkZero, this could get dangerous. FaZe needs to stay on their toes.
And we just got away with the DarkZero announcement. We just got away from Slimy Anderson. I could not help but call Anderson Slimy because of the tag. And now we have Baby Bay and Baby J, and it's all confusing, and they just keep doing it to us. These players, they really know how to get under our skin, so we can't be firing on all syllables. But firing on all cylinders is going to be Raucus finding one there with the ultimate, that Hunter's Fury. Able to net the first kill and kind of slow some of the momentum. Trying to slow down the DarkZero ship as that cam goes down. But imagine with the slow creep out of B main, they know the trap wire is there. That will fall as well. And Baby J now looking to take the fight. Anderson unspotted for now. Tag out onto one as Baby J flicks onto Anderson, finds the kill, and Raucus back in the kill feed.
Wow, what a play there from FaZe to shut things down, but this round still very much could go the way of DZ. One picked up for range and another for Screw, but these players so isolated. And check out Baby Bay, the aggression is re-clearing A main. Now they have information that this either has to be kind of a cut noise, re-aggress towards B, or it has to be mid, and Baby Bay's about to find that out, about to shut that down. Spike's on the floor. There's only 30 seconds for Screw to win this. I got the spike.
It has time to really go to either side. It would be cutting it close to go to B, but it is going to be a play out towards A. And I mean, Baby Bay, what's he doing? He's had the Bulldog basically the whole game here. I didn't think that the Jet utility was that expensive now, but it really feels like that's all he's been able to afford, and he's been getting the job done, so can't complain too much. Nice shot to find the first. It's a headshot wasted, though, as it's very low HP. Daggers online, the right click gonna land. The wind blade shower is there. Now Screwface gonna go toe-to-toe with the clutch master, Zachary himself. And the clock is ticking. FaZe need to find a defuse here if they want to keep the lead. Screwface backs away underneath the heaven position. The spike yet to be tapped. I would imagine a dark cover available. Shots trying to come down onto target. The right click is just too close, and it's the clutch to close it out for Screwface, and we're all tied up, Mimi.
Wow, there should be no way that Screwface can win that. Baby Bay, he makes such a heads-up play to start things off, finding that aggression, shutting down the spike, and even like those shots early on, but sometimes you just can't explain clutch, and well, it's the Red Bull clutch for Screwface to pull that one off. And I think it's funny because a round ago we were kind of ragging on how rough a game both these Jets are having, but it's a huge play out of Screw to keep his team in the momentum, to keep his team in the winning category. And now I think FaZe is going to be reset onto a save here because their money has been weird, and this has to be attack. You got to let DZ cool down after that one because they've got to be feeling hot. Remember, they're boot camping too, so everyone's in person. You can get those fist bumps. You can get that kind of
bumps, baby.
Everyone synergized, everyone feeling good. And for FaZe, oh, I can only imagine how bad a clutch like that feels.
And it looks like, just taking a peek at this, obviously this pause called, 15 seconds into it. Maybe for whatever reason they haven't bought yet, but you're taking a peek at Zachary kind of get that overhead. It's a sheriff in hand. So this is a round where if FaZe don't pull out a thrifty victory, DarkZero could grab themselves another lead. And it's been a while since we've seen that. So that would be some more wind in their sails. I do love the contrast that we got. The first tactical timeout was taken by just pausing the game. And then the next one, they're like, oh, right, yeah, we do tactical timeouts for real now. Like, we'd actually now have that. So the second one coming through was that timeout where everybody gets paused. You get that 60 seconds to kind of figure it out. And, I mean, you take a peek at the economy, and it's not great on the side of FaZe. It's doable. It's not great.
It really isn't good here. DZ, I like that they're not aggressing here. They're slowing things down. They're letting FaZe Clan sweat because they have the momentum. They have every advantage with them for the moment. 2 off of the run it back for range, so it won't be online at least for a couple more rounds here. Run through mid. Should clear some space for side of FaZe. This is DZ practically fully postured here just for a hard A take. The big question is, do they clear Zachary up top?
This is a big one. You assume that a curveball comes through. Owl Drone. Oh, the Owl Drone spots him out. They don't take it down in time. It's just the classic there for Baby Bay. As curveball comes through, Rock's able to find the first. That's on to Ainge with the Guardian. So headshots land true. It's a 2-for-1 as Screwface looks to push the pace here. Ops up top is going to get spotted out. No wall bang available as he falls down behind the generator. That spike finally to be planted. It's a neural theft available as Baby J makes his way across the map in a 3v4 situation. Raucus in a tough spot, low on HP, no way to heal that one up, and Kohler making sure nobody gets free entry out through tree. It is going to be Kohler first to contact here in the 4v3. Guardian down low, able to find the headshot again. Raucus finds another and an upgrade. It's still 33 health. We saw the 26 HP Bandit. Do we get the 33 HP Bandit as a spike continues to tick down? Corey falls to the hands of Anderson. Make it a third for the Omen. Anderson having himself a game here. And Baby J just forced to back away in this one. Tried to do damage, but can do none as the Omen nets 4 for DarkZero.
Oh, that cam is so cool on the retake. That's the second time we've seen Baby J use that, but it actually connects the tag, puts a lot of pressure onto Screwface in towards Hell, but they just didn't have the weapons to get that spam off in time. No Odin in play, but in this one, they have everything they could want. Baby Bay on an op. I don't think we've got to see it quite yet this half. We know what a factor, what a force he can be when he has this weapon in hands, and I think that DZ, they've been given so much space to work with, and I think this is finally what FaZe might have up their sleeves to deny that space, to make them play phases. Okay, Raucus, it's all right. We didn't see anything. All we saw was Baby Bay's crisp shot, and all we saw was an opening frag for FaZe.
Yeah, the Sova's struggling with those shock darts. We said the Jets were struggling. Now it's the Sovas. Harmon getting, unfortunately taking his own life with that one. And then we get a bit of chip damage on himself there of Raucus. So a tough start, but it was topped off there, smoothed over. Somebody stepped in the cement, but fortunately the guys are still on the job as Baby Bay finds that first. Oh, nice one-way cage. He's going to net another kill on the opposite side of the map as Anderson looks to go back into the boathouse. Privy of this, though, as Baby J tries to take the fight and will fall. Recon Bolt can get the ping onto Zachary. Uses that shrouded step to get away. Put on the opposite side of the tall box and is able to find the kill. They're playing him like a fiddle here as the lockdown comes through. It's a 1v4 situation and maybe biting off more than they could chew as Harmon has a whole lot to get done with a whole little. It's 58 health and a shock dart. A dream and an operator staring him down. FaZe will tie us up once more.
Good stuff from FaZe. And Baby Bay, we thought that it could be the kind of success to have him on the operator, and that it was. Finds the entry frag and finds the frag to close things out into FaZe's winning ways. Now for DZ, how will they adapt around this? Because taking a peek at the comp, the only thing they have in way of flashes, really, besides that Omen, is the curveballs of Ainge. So you got to make sure you're being thorough. You got to make sure you're creating that space, because when you give Baby Bay open lines of sight, or even when you don't, he'll still push straight through those smokes and try and shut things down. DZ still have the buy up into their favor, but if they lose out on this round, Eco's going to be rough. They're going to be facing match point. This is likely the most important round of this map. Could change the tide for either team.
And this time it is a bit of aggression. Pushing out towards mid. The Cage gonna get the info, but I believe spotted out already by Baby J. That drone gonna take down the trap wire. Maybe not one that you want to get as Corey goes on the flank, and that's a kill that you absolutely want to get. As Roxas is able to take down the run it back. Just not a whole lot of value on that Phoenix ultimate in this game. Ainge struggling to get that one figured out, as it's only one kill on the round thus far. ABJ forced to back away. Love Zachary playing towards that back of the side, and that recon bolt should get a nice ping onto one. Not going to spot out Ainge, though. So a solid push towards the back of the site will sit the Sova down. The information gatherers both taken off the board as Baby J the next to fall. Now Zachary, alone and unafraid here on the site, is going to eat a shock dart, take a bit of damage. Kohler swings, finds the shots. DarkZero looking to take this one to map point. But they have just about 40 seconds to hang on here in a 3v2.
FaZe can play this together. Baby Bay still up. Likely have had time to recover a rifle, so they can still get this done. But how will they isolate these? Smoke goes out first. They're pushing the site.
Nice one-way smoke towards the back. Harmer with a nice swing, but it's Kohler to close it out. Ainge is there as well. 12-11. Mimi, we get pushed to the last round in regulation here in game number 1. And for FaZe, the economy is shaky.
Yeah, it's terrible right now. This was such a good look to start things off for FaZe. They have the aggression from Corey up towards main. He pushes deep through spawn, finds one man all the way outside B main. But DZ, the second they feel that space being taken away, they immediately retake space of their own. It was a bit of aggression in towards spawn. They find the 2 frags on the rotators and then open up that B site for business. It was a clinic. Nice thing, these schools, and oh no, Kohler utility in hand. Corey gets one, backs away with the trade, and Zach with the Sheriff gets one done. Advantage for FaZe, but the weapons still not great in Ainge. Protecting the fallen guns. This could still go either way. Will FaZe need this desperately to take it to overtime on their pick?
And this is a position where it almost feels like you need to go B, or else Ainge is just going to be stuck here guarding these weapons. I get you are next to the edge of the map, so Ainge could look to make a play like that, but obviously keeping the right head about him here. He looks to get aggressive towards the B site, maybe buy out rotations. It's still 2-2 split. Blaze wall goes up. Nothing more on the back end. We'll see how much is actually invested in making sure those guns stay away. Is just looking to bring up the rear towards the team out towards mid. Playing a close angle. Oh, this could be bad here. Judge comes around. Baby J falls. Harmon with the Odin in hand. It's the big boy guns being used here, but it's Rockets coming out on top to close it out and take us to overtime.
Wow, huge work there from Rockets. The aggression forces them away from B. And like you mentioned, Ainge had to hold down the fort, so they're pushing into a stack with disadvantage in the Judge. All that is needed for FaZe to pull things in towards overtime. DZ, they had the advantage. They had the position to close out. Now it just has to be in OT. Starting off on the defensive side, I think that DZ definitely can find a bit of an advantage here, because they had that kind of early footing on their defensive side. They had some good looks, but it was always inconsistent. It was never a perfect solution. I wouldn't hate to see them get aggressive. My fear is that it's going to be overtime. There's going to be a little bit of pressure and people will chill out. That can't happen, because both these teams can find their strengths when they do have that calculated aggression forward. It's what was able to win FaZe this round. It's what was able to take FaZe into overtime. So we don't want to see them chill out. We don't want to see them step off that gas. As A site seems to be the decision, but look how much utility is here.
So much used thus far as that Lear goes through. Baby Bay just looking to find a way onto the site. Usually the cloud burst up draft. tailwind there. Now on top of the generator. Kohler going to go unchecked for now. Zach with the first peek. That's the spike down. Now trying to clear the site. Kohler finds another before falling. A 2-for-1 as Baby Bay has assumed the site and is looking for more. They're trading the kills right back. And Baby Bay still unanswered on the site. That spike is looking to take its leave. It's out towards A main, so it has been retrieved. The 3v3 situation. Baby Bay in the 20s in terms of HP once more. As a fake on the spike comes through. Odin still in hand for Harmon. As the Owl drone gets queued up. 18 seconds left on a that recon. Oh, through the wall. That's just an easy kill to close it out. Recon bolt traded right back. Screwface. Couple of cloud bursts gonna play inside of it. Raucous on 1 HP. It's really the Corey show here, as anything will take down Raucous, and that is it. A dismiss. It's 12 HP the lineup, but just can't get it. Corey, the last one standing, not able to close things out, as DarkZero will grab the first round here in overtime.
Such a well-controlled retake from DZ, because they hear the tap on the spike and they don't over-aggress. They're fine with giving that site control up. They're fine with committing to that retake. They even send Screw out to consider the possibility of a late round replay. So just really well done to them. It's a bit of a heartbreaker for FaZe because they took all that chip damage on the way in. 2 of those players were on 1 HP. Maybe if they had been able to avoid those mollies, avoid the early spray from Kohler, it could have gone the other way, but it's Kohler to start things off, and it was Harmon to shut things down. FaZe on the back foot here. They get to play their defensive side. Is it enough to pull things back?
It's a tough one because both teams went really strong on attack. So FaZe kind of getting stunted on that attack. Makes the defense look tricky. Corey gonna let one go just before Zachary gets spotted. Corey able to find another, so picking up right where he left off on the attacking side, trying to get us to double OT, and it looks like it just might happen, but Mimi not in flawless fashion. That's not how this goes, right?
Oh, it might just be down to Harmon, and Harmon shut down. Corey just coming online in this overtime to find himself a triple in the defense of mid. That was a little weird from Anderson, just not checking that corner whatsoever. They've been allowed a lot of space. I think they were conditioned to think that it was just going to be that tripwire playing deep, that they would be allowed that space, but that they were not. FaZe makes a change at the right time to get aggressive in mid. Works perfectly. DZ, another chance onto that favored attacker side. Excuse me, I don't know what I'm saying. Onto the defensive side, rather, where they get to take their position. I say favor, but both these teams really trading incredibly well on either of these halves. This could go either way, but he knows how much FaZe likes this A site, so they're keeping a pretty heavy setup here. You see both of those swarm grenades set up deep. That's to kill anyone that goes for the switch on the door, and that can be swung off of by Ainge. Can be a very dangerous setup, but look at the space for Zachary. Clearing through. Paranoia queued up for the execution.
There it is through the tree room. Corey finds Anderson running the opposite way, trying to stop the take onto the side as Baby Bay has made his way up, playing around the dice. The turret spots him out. Ainge finds one. Kohler's there to trade it out. Kohler finds another, and you just can't get in. Kohler, the bouncer, at the door here for the A site. Zachary finds a kill onto Screwface, but that spike down in an awkward spot once more. This time a whole lot harder to retrieve from Raucous, as he's able to find one kill, and it leaves Zachary in a 1v2. A very winnable 1v2, because we know Raucous, we know Zachary, we know what they can do and what they've already done here on Ascent. But with 35 seconds, the spike down on the ground, 2 players in front on the A site. Zachary's got to get it done.
Does one dark cover still available that help him recover the spike, but he wants to find a duel for it. Harmon knows they won't peek this. Look at the time, no dark cover. It has to be an A site committal.
Has to be an A site here. Both kills would get him the ultimate, but that would obviously get him the round as well. The spike needs to go down, is opting in to try and play the fights here in the 1v2, dancing around the generator, and well, doesn't go his way. It takes 2 to tango. That's exactly what DarkZero had as they grab a lead again here in overtime.
Yeah, the time was so pivotal there. It would have taken a very fast decision. I thought he was going to use that second dark cover that he had on standby to try and make the run, make the rotation. But obviously, that would have been heard by the side of DZ, and they could have tried to shut it down. Regardless of how it went in the end for his decision-making, DZ just played things perfectly in the 2v1 with that little crossfire setup back sight. Now, FaZe, another opportunity for them to take us to a third overtime or to lose it out here. It's their map pick. We need to be taking this, and it's such a nice start. Babyface aggression, but seems to have really picked up in overtime.
And it's outmatching Screwface's aggression, finding the kill on the opposition there, being that Jet. A lot of damage traded back, but still a player alive. So Babyface still a problem, like we've seen in previous rounds. If you find an extra frag there, that's really all you could hope for with 10 HP. So a 1 for 0 as the dark cover goes through. DarkZero. Okay, that was a lot of darks and zeros and in the same sentence. Kind of tripped me up there for a second. But DarkZero looking to make a play out towards mid here. And Spike bringing up the rear out towards Catwalk. Unfortunately, they're running right in the clutches of FaZe. They've got 3 on this site. Ainge playing out towards Wine. Just not able to get anything just yet.
FaZe very stoic here. They're not over-aggressing. They know they have their man advantage, so they won't peek. Contact play here. Baby Bay will be able to swing off the man towards main, but instead it's Corey to likely take first.
Corey, unfortunately, going to fall there. Trying to trade a bit of damage as they spot him coming on through. Kohler's able to find another. Baby Bay still finds a kill, though. Will be eventually traded. Now, once more, Zachary. One of the last few alive. This time it's with Baby J. Zange goes to heal up there with that Phoenix utility. Not going to have any of that. Try and stop a push here, and well, you take a look at the health bars. The headshots from the Phantoms are a whole lot stronger because you got some chip damage on the 3 remaining from DarkZero, but they're looking to hang on. A Paranoia, a couple of shrouded steps to work with. Harmon needs all 100 rounds in the Odin to try and make sure that you take some damage if you're going to push heaven. Baby J finds the first. 43 health remains as he looks to trade something back. Anderson gonna close things out on a Zachary. It's a 360 jump down, and there it is for DarkZero. Map 1 goes their way, and after a short break, we'll see you guys for map 2.
Change of range.
We jump back after a very close game one, 15-13, going the way of DarkZero. But before we get there, guys, we want to give a huge shout out and raise awareness to some of the peripherals that you should be using, and that is a Zowie BenQ monitor. Have you ever wondered why the majority of professional Valorant players choose a Zowie monitor? Well, it's basically built for the FPS community, and if you're not using one, you are absolutely wrong. It's also got dynamic accuracy and color vibrance. It just makes it easier to track enemies, to control your weapon spray, and obviously secure this site for your team like you are trying to do in Valorant. You guys can head on over to zowie.benq.com for more info. And if you would like to learn more about what dynamic accuracy is, just search "what is Diac" to skip right to the good stuff. Now, with that being said, Mimi, we just got a whole lot of good stuff. We actually got 28 rounds worth of good stuff there on Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a big game that delivered. Obviously, I had some faith in my DZ stocks. I thought they were going to be able to pull something off there. I didn't expect them to take Ascent. This is the second time now in 2 days that FaZe has been upset on this map, so maybe it has to be back to the drawing board, but let's not take away from what DZ did there, because once they got over to their attacker side, despite having a pretty rough half, 5-7 on the defense, they pulled things back in a big way. Their mid-rounding was fantastic. When they took things quickly, just on those fast A execs was great. Screwface definitely doing his job in space creation, and when it came down to the clutch, I mean, that Screwface 1v3, I think that's kind of what turned the tides, right? FaZe take that tactical pause, things start to fall apart. They do manage to take it to overtime, but it just didn't look convincing from there on out. This is a punisher for FaZe, because now we have to go into DZ's map pick with them already up. This FaZe roster, very high expectations, very high hopes going into this one, and well, now I'm starting to get nervous for him.
Yeah, and so there are a couple of rounds, right, which it came down to just a couple of rounds separating this game, right? It was you have to win by 2 situation. That's what we got, 15-13. And there were, 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds where FaZe just ran out of time before being able to make a play. So you speed things up a little bit. Maybe you try and get a bit better of a read or make a call a bit earlier, and you don't get punished by the indecision so much. That was such a sick play to take us into overtime there. And then Kohler, I mean, the overtime beaming, both overtimes that we got there really opened things up as a whole. Corey right there with them. Unfortunately, they were just on the receiving end of the loss. Now we head over to Haven, which, like we stated, Ascent was FaZe's map pick. This one going to be the map pick of DarkZero. What this tells me, what I love about Haven, is Kohler is really a player that we watch, right? We've been, as a Valorant community, I feel like we've been watching him bounce around team to team. And this is a map where the Sentinels as a whole really get to shine. Baby J, was absolutely sick in map number 1. So was Kohler, and we get to see it all over again here on Haven.
Yeah, and I feel like this is DarkZero's map pick, but I almost feel like this is a map that might favor FaZe just a little bit. We talk about Kohler, we know how strong his lurks can be, but Baby J as well, in a similar position as that kind of new Cypher player to the squad. Yesterday, they took this map over Frail Males, 13-3 in the decider of that series. That is after going down to them on Ascent in, well, actually a bit more of a dominant game than DZ was able to pull off over them. So it almost feels like we're getting a bit of a reset here, but I think that DZ, they're a team that can really go out when it takes these longer games, when it takes something to just kind of stick in there and finish it out. Obviously, like you talked about, Kohler, a couple of these other players just look so invigorated in overtime to get the job done. That's exactly what they did. And now for FaZe, it's going to kind of take a complete reset, because that probably should have been their game. It was their map pick. They had advantage at the half. They were the ones to push it into overtime, have that at their feet, and still, nothing was able to work out. So for DZ, if they can just stay this course, if they can let Kohler do Kohler things on his lurks, if Screwface can keep up the Jet antics, that's going to be huge. I forget what side they get to start on here. Let me double check. Looks like it will be DZ starting on the defense here for, or excuse me, it's going to be FaZe starting on the defense here for Haven. And I think that this squad of DZ getting to start attack is really strong for them, because this is where you can let Screw loose, you can let Kohler loose, you can play these wide defaults and just have individuals make plays. In that previous game, once they got onto their attacker side of Ascent, they were very loose. They had a bit of fun with it. They let Screw create that space. It was very effective. Sometimes they struggled in the post plants, but they fixed that up. It's a team that's very quick, very strong in adapting, and Haven's a perfect map for all of that.
And starting on the attack, right? For both of these teams, that was the stronger side for the most part. Well, coming off of a very close win where you close it out, like you said, you've got 4 or 5 players boot camping, so the energy levels are through the roof. Now you literally just get to pick up where you left off. You get to keep the confidence flowing. You get to keep the energy, the momentum, everything moving forward, which is exactly what you're looking to do on the attacking side. You obviously have to move forward and try and push those defenders back. So this is a great place for them to be. And I don't know if we touched on this at the beginning of the show, but need we remind the fans out there what the stakes are for this game, right? You've got DarkZero, who this is their first official as assigned team that they're playing, and you just get picked up, and you've got a lot of nerves in that alone. Sure, you have the org behind you, but now it's kind of like you have the org over you saying, hey, we need to see results, gentlemen. Maybe not right off the rip, but that's a great place to get started. And then we take a look at FaZe, right? Once considered, if not the best, the #1 or #2 team in North America. And then they fall a little short in stage 2. They get knocked out by T1, who wasn't looking great at the time.
Yeah.
All love to T1, right? No, I'm not taking shots at anybody, but that's just, it is what it is. So FaZe have a whole lot to prove to say, hey, we're not that same team that's going to get knocked out by somebody who, by most, wasn't really considered as one of the top teams in North America. So they really needed to come into this one. And DarkZero, map #1, showed up to take it in double overtime, 15-13. Now on Haven, pressure is on.
It really is here. And if we can kind of zone in on the comps for a second, absolutely nothing surprising. It's the same exact comp for both sides. It's a very just normal NA play with the double duelist. You bring that Phoenix, you bring that Jet, and then the Sova, Omen, and Cypher to bring up the rear. So fairly equally matched in terms of skill level. At least that's what it looked like on the previous match, and well, perfectly matched in way of their compositions. Haven, it could be the last hurrah for FaZe, an organization with so many hopes in this tournament to make it into the close, could get knocked out right here, right now, by the new boys on the block. DZ, this old squad, when they were DHBK, when they were the Kooky Koalas, they were no strangers to an upset, to getting things done. We might just be seeing it here again, as the first start of this half looks to go in towards A, as DZ on a fast pace.
All 5 stacked up here, so no lurk play this time around, although maybe expected by Kohler. You can see 2 players still hanging out on the opposite side of the map for FaZe. So they're not trying to do too much. They've got 3 on the site holding it down. No call out that anybody's pushed up, but the ult orb has been seized. That one swings the way of Ainge, and they're looking to get a whole lot more value out of the run it backs here on Haven. As they back away, maybe they go for a nice little split. Kohler pushed up out towards sewers. Time, and we'll see if this actually binds out of rotation. Oh, that's a nice cam.
I like how stoic FaZe is. Yeah, because look at this setup. They have a trip towards B, trip towards long, and they have the cam in garage. There should be no reason for them to rotate here because they have no information. They'll hunker down with 3 here, but here's the execute from DZ.
Yeah, huge paranoia, but unfortunately wears off just a bit too early as we go 2 for 2 on the site. Rock is still holding it down, closed off the low HP. Screwface now finds another in Ainge, will eventually fall in a 2v2 situation is where we find ourselves, and that spike goes down. A Dark Clever to work with, and only 1 player to worry about as Baby Bay will fall. Corey now needs to come up huge, just as he did on map #1. Anderson to swing, and it's another 3K for the Omen, and Anderson just doesn't miss, Mimi.
It really doesn't. I love the way DZ played that round. They put that early pressure. They spot out at least 2 members of FaZe. They just stop. They don't give any info over. They have Kohler strips to know that a flank can't be coming, that an information play is unlikely out of this FaZe squad. And I think that's interesting because this FaZe roster feels a lot more passive compared to maybe what they once were. Oftentimes on their Havens in that previous run, it felt like they were very apt to get aggressive for information, but in that round they really had no info. They kept 3 towards A. It was the right stack, but they just lost out on the trade game. So wouldn't hate to see them fighting for this map control a little bit more, and well, now we see it. Baby Bay up mid, and a free kill onto Kohler. That's a gun, and look at all the information. They know this has to be A. So DZ, they have the superior arms, but they have to hold against a superior force.
The shorty being as short as it is looks so silly here in the hands of Raucus, but it doesn't feel silly when you grab a couple of those pellets on you in 1 shot. Can take you down, Zange. Understand that there might be a flank coming on through. Nice curveball, only able to find 1, but 1 for 1. Still a decent trade. It's FaZe, still a player ahead though. the back end of that early kill onto Kohler, and it's Baby Bay. I guess both now with weapons in hand. So 2 Spectres on the side of FaZe, but they're running out of time. That Shorty maybe finally looking to come out of the corner. I think at this point, you just got to try and keep DZ corralled. Make sure that bonus absolutely hurts as Anderson finds 2, stealing the kills away from his squad. Leaves it all up to Baby J in a 1v1, looking to do all the damage in the world. But Screwface will back away, will hang on to his weapon as DZ find another round.
That's a great round out of FaZe, though. The fact that they kill 4 there, they're going to push DZ into the situation where they either decide, do we force into this one and kind of have a rough 3rd round buy, or do we commit to this bonus? And the decision seems to be play for that bonus round, but what a great start here. Just kind of look back at the replays. Baby Bay creating that space, and this is exactly what I was complaining about. No information in that pistol round. They had all the information in this one. Knew that everyone from DZ had to be on this A site, so the crunch came in quickly. Now the buy up here looking very good. They just have to shut down against these pistols and the 1 bonus gun of Screw.
It's another A hit where they're not flirting with the idea of even really having a full lurk out towards mid or B. There's a cam still holding it down to make sure that the rotate's not coming just yet. It is going to be all through a defender's spawn area. And with the footsteps in the ground covered, Zachary is going to get hurt here. Handle shots go just a bit wide. It allows Kohler to back away and look to link up with the rest of the squad here. And no, okay, so it's actually 2 still split out towards A long. The play looking to be B. Obviously, you want to take these close angles. It's going to be Corey the first to answer, though. Saw Screwface. The bouncer impression. Can Corey do it here? Looks away from the flash, but still falls no matter. Over towards the A site. They're trying to find something in DZ. Unfortunately, it's Raucus to shut it down. Another double kill for the Sova as FaZe 2 players ahead this time around in a whole lot better situation to try and close things out. Harmon reloads, goes out towards mid. Met by Baby J, and it's all up to Screwface, who since upgraded from the Spectre to the Vandal, but just doesn't have the space or the shots on target. Baby J gonna match Raucus's 2K for FaZe to find their first.
I think both teams gonna feel all right after that round. DZ, they put a little pressure towards A, sell that just a bit, which causes a rotation so that B site practically open for business. It could have gotten dangerous with the gun recovered onto Screwface, but again, FaZe, their control, their kind of passiveness when they need to have it was perfect, and that they didn't over-aggress. They didn't throw away these 1v1s, and that won them the round quite cleanly. Now we get to see rifle v rifle for both these squads, and Raucus, this is an interesting lineup. I know there's one here where you can kind of wallbang in towards sewers, but I think this is more just for early information because he has one player in the way of Corey set up for the fight towards long, likely looking to grab this orb. I like the little setup for the A control, and you see the dart will at least push one back. However, Ainge on the run it back will force them away from C.
Curveball gonna find a blind onto one. It forces Baby Bay back. But Baby J will send Ainge back. So again, we get stumbled over the words there, thanks to the player's name. Shock darts gonna push Baby Bay away from that back of side. Screwface comes out on top. Ainge gonna hop on the board as well. Zachary only able to find 1 before being traded. As a run it back gonna be traded out. It's Corey looking to get something done, but just can't do it. The Phoenix is struggling with these run it backs to get something going. Hunter Shuri gonna delay the plan for now, but with a minute left on the clock, they can go right back to it. A reload at quite possibly could have been one of the worst times to do it as Anderson finds another kill, leaving it all up to Raucus, who used that Hunter's Fury moments ago. Now needs to find 4 kills here with the Vandal. Usually good for 2. We'll see if that still remains true.
Oh, this late lurk from Screwface. I'm not sure if he's made noise yet. Raucus suspicious, should be able to shut this down, but Screw has the crosshair placement, is able to close that one out quite cleanly. DZ 4 alive in that round, and I kind of like the delay off of the run it back because Ainge does it initially, and then they push the gas for just a moment. They let FaZe reconsider where could they be going, and then just after that second, the aggression comes out, and this is interesting. Very early tack from FaZe. I don't necessarily hate it because it feels like DZ is just bowling them over. That first rifle round, you don't want it to be that dominant. You don't want 4 bodies left alive. It should at least be a bit harder fought fight, so maybe reconsidering how they want to play around this C site.
The timeout taken by FaZe is it probably feels pretty good for DarkZero, saying, hey, we've got these guys, kind of second guessing, on the back foot. They're trying to slow us down, and we'll see if that is going to be the case. I'm really really hoping that we get to see Kohler kind of spread his wings a little bit more. Haven is such a big map, and I really do appreciate playing with the team and how well DarkZero have been playing it as 5. But I mean, it when you get to take a peek at Kohler and you see it from his POV, it's an absolute masterpiece a lot of the time. So I'm hoping we get a bit more of that. But hey, whatever works. You know what? I just want to see the content play, I guess. I want to see the content play, Mimi. And these guys are actually playing for the real thing. So maybe I should just be quiet and let them do their job.
Yeah, well, regardless, taking stock of the buy in this round, it looks like they are electing to invest Baby J onto that sheriff. The rest of his team does have weaponry here. And for DZ, what are they working with? They love just kind of these 4-1 splits. They put heavy pressure in towards one site, will commit the execution there, and they just leave Kohler out to do Kohler things. He's actually all the way deep into attacker-sided spawn, so his job is to deal with any possible flank, and there is one coming out of A, so Kohler's job, very crucial here, as the site secured and the plant down for DZ.
It's actually 2 players. Kohler might just run into...
Timing.
Sneaks away, the shots go wide, and this is the Kohler lurk. It's a bit more of a defensive one, though. Not pushing out to try and find a flank, but looking to answer one for himself. Harmon is here to play the crossfire. Screwface finds the first frag onto Rocket, so information gathering kind of taken off the board as the trades are there. The dynamic duo. That's the buddy system working out perfectly as the Hunter's Fury comes through, but it's not even needed. Anderson says, put that bow away, Harmon. I'll take care of things.
Dude, the adaptation there was really nice. The fact that Kohler's like, they're on the flank. He sees his trip is broken, and instantly there's someone there to support. The crossfire, the double swing to shut things down was perfect, because that was really FaZe's only way into that. They had 2 players working their way from spawn side, and so it was basically these isolated 2v4s, but DZ does a great job of, well, out-isolating them and shutting those pushes down. It's the pistols out now for FaZe, and this momentum, it's starting to get me a little bit worried for this squad, because thus far, especially on these C-takes, there hasn't been a solution to slow down the quick pace that DarkZero is showing, as here they go again, the Owl drone to initiate, but Zachary has the paranoia ready.
Cues it up, maybe a little low there, tosses that one out as the sheriff shots go wide. Screwface still hanging out on top of the box, will fall to Baby J. Baby J finds another, almost making it a third there. It's Anderson. Oh my goodness. If you blinked, you missed it. The sheriffs came online as FaZe look to battle back for their second. It's another one of those rounds, Mimi, where you just say, this is it? This is how you get back in the win column with sheriffs?
It was a story for DZ last game. The eco rounds, pulling them back to advantage, and well, now it's about to happen to them. Kohler not getting revealed on this start, so can walk up towards long here. The positioning is good from FaZe. 2 tucked in behind that double stack box. It's Baby Bay and Corey to work together. Timing good. Kohler has a first. Hat thrown. Flash not good enough. He readjusts. Has it. These duels are being given away for free. 30 seconds left. Now Kohler, what will he get done? The read is there from the last man of FaZe, and he thinks that it's going to be an A hit. He's completely wrong. Kohler will have this site free, and he's the healthier one in this equation. No way FaZe let this slip away. Yeah, it was an eco, but it's a 1 versus 3.
And the mind games, though, right? Okay, Kohler is just going to look to stick the plant here. And I mean, you say Kohler is a healthier one, but by how much, right? 46 health. So 1 body shot traded out will go the way of Kohler. But if Rockets finds the head, it really is only going to take 1 round. And there's 2 shock darts and a recon bolt to work with. And that cam kind of in an awkward spot. It doesn't get a whole lot of forward information. It really is just there to watch the spike, which Kohler is standing right on top of. Now here comes the flank from back to the side, and Ruckus finds a way to get it done. 3 kills on the round, and the thrifty to FaZe as they find their second win.
Oh, he just lost out on the 50-50 there. You could see kind of Kohler's brain churning. I think that he thought that the late round push meant that Raucus was likely playing in towards mid, or kind of tucked in towards garage, so he's going to try and work that flank up towards long. That's what Kohler was wary about, but instead it was the late flank from spawn. But it feels like a lifetime ago, but looking back to early on in this round, both Raucus and Baby J went absolutely massive in this situation. It was a nice attempt to Kohler, but this is exactly what FaZe needs. Something to get their way onto the board, and now the money's going to be looking good. They're going to set themselves on the right course to shut this down, especially now that there's an operator up for Baby Bay, and I think there's one for Screw as well. So the op duel, I think this might even be the first round where both these Jets have one in hand.
When Corey using that run it back and getting so much value, 2 kills before that ult will expire, courtesy of Screwface. Op shot lands. That's not the kill you were hoping to find on the ulted Phoenix. Screwface still playing out towards mid. That spike is down on the ground as FaZe with a 2-player lead and a 2-round deficit, looking to cut it to 1.
Clearing some space here in towards garage. The Omen's tucked in, and this makes life harder for Screw. No tailwind, so just has to be these quick heads-up shots waiting. Maybe a push to come through. It's the drone committed towards mid. I think that spot's out too. One at each link, so more information put into the equation for DarkZero, but no matter how we slice it, it's going to be a very, very tough round. C-Site seems to be the decision, and well, it's not a bad one. Only Rock is here to hold down the site. Zachary could shut Kohler away. That he will. DZ to 2. Operator still in the hand of Screw. And you consider, is this a save or is this a commitment? And well, commitment seems to be the name of the game, but Baby Bay on the case with Raucus.
Rock's playing this corner. You have to check this one. Screwface finds the first. Baby Bay's there to trade it back. Going up top. Raucus goes unchecked. The economy stripped away from DarkZero as FaZe find another round.
All right. Good look out of FaZe. This is their first opportunity to kind of get a streak of 2 in a row here. They're going to reset the economy of DZ, so likely going to be able to continue the ship forward. I don't know if this was an overcommitment to mid or if they were just completely caught off guard, but great little curveball there from Corey to deny that push immediately. Now for DZ, where will they take this one? I wouldn't hate to see them slow things back down into that more defaulted pace, because that was their early success was oftentimes off of that. The execute's not bad either, but this one doesn't look like it's going to be going their way. Just the pistols and that one Blaze Storm invested have been taken care of. Still, in the 2v3, if they can get their hands on these weapons, maybe there's a chance at it.
And it had all the speed, just not the power behind it, unfortunately, for DarkZero. Although the B side has been conceded basically for free. Harmon needs to be careful, though. That drone comes up and might just get caught out sneaking through mid. That is exactly the case, as Raucus again is able to net a kill. And it feels like there isn't a round where Raucus's name isn't on that kill feed, and you really couldn't ask for more. Now, speaking of asking for more, that's what DarkZero is doing here of Anderson, but this is a lot to ask for. As that ultimate gets sent back, Anderson, sheriff in hand, recon, gonna get the information, but it's not needed, says Baby Bay. He scopes in, takes a shot, finds his target, and ties things up for FaZe.
Early aggression out of DZ there. Wasn't able to swing things towards their favor. It was just the anti-eco, but what's so important about this is that FaZe is able to keep the operator in the hands of Baby Bay. I think we never really got to see him kind of get his feet wet with the op in that previous game. He had it out a couple times, but there was never a huge impact. And on Haven, we kind of hyped up this head-to-head. It was Screw and Baby Bay, these really powerful oppers. And thus far, Baby Bay, he has been winning out on these duels. And with the economy in their favor, they will have this rifle to stay. I also love the way FaZe plays around it. Like, Baby Bay can kind of peek wherever he wants, and the team is able to adapt to set up the positioning around him. A team with such a strong jet up really needs to do that. Set him up to shine, set him up for success, and that's what we're seeing right here, right now. For DZ, they have weapons of their own. No op to speak of, as it is just a fast A hit here. Passive Cypher setup, and maybe a rotation considered by Raucus.
Joke's over! You're dead.
And maybe we consider going into these matchups with our head-to-heads being leaning a bit. Oh, okay. Screwface finds one onto Baby J. That one just blindly up into heaven. Shrouded Steps Anderson will assume that position. Hunter Shuri tossed out the second shot. To be waited on, in the third to follow. Unfortunately, just gonna go dancing around there. The body of Harmon. Shock darts go through, and the spike too far for any chip damage there. As Corey hops back on the board. Anderson falls. Heaven once more assumed by FaZe. But what does that mean for the squad? As Baby Bay looks to push in off the back end of the Owl drone. Goes over the top. The flashes are there. The right clicks are landing, and everybody's falling. Kohler only good for one. as FaZe will grab themselves a lead.
It was looking so strong for the squad of DZ. They had themselves positioned in towards this post point. They had time to set it up, and then, well, the utility was able to buy enough time to allow the rotation. So Hunter's Fury, well, it was actually very slow out of Raucus, and I love that because it allows the team to set up for that 5 versus 5 retake. And then Baby Bay, well, he's doing what Baby Bay does best, and that's creating space. He does get those 2 frags there, which is huge, but what's even better is the chaos he creates. He forces Screw to dash towards short. He forces DZ to take these worse off duels, whereas if he had never done that dash, if they had all just been kind of pushing in, walking out together from spawn side, they could have all concentrated their efforts in one direction, but that chaos instead brings FaZe the round, and it's DZ. Another save round, another quick look.
Spectre playing the close angle here. Kohler not gonna check his corners. Corey and Baby J hop on the board for the first 2 kills. Hot hands push through. Curveball. Push easy away for now. The last one standing was Harmon as the 4K swings the way of Corey. FaZe now grow their lead to 2. And Mimi, mind you, this is off of heaps of momentum for DarkZero. Now 5 in a row back for FaZe. You're starting to get worried if you're a DZ fan.
Yeah, remember they took that tack boss after like 4 rounds? Like, they were like, all right, we're worried about this momentum. We're going to reset here. And I'm surprised that DZ hasn't taken a tactical pause of their own quite yet, because this momentum feels squarely out of hand. Even in these rounds where they get the site, where they're at advantage, they haven't been able to hold against these retakes. So new solutions have to come out, and it's hard to make new solutions when FaZe is always adapting. And here's a new look this time. Aggression down mid. They already have all this information. It's another attempt at this A site. It's only the Sova late on the rotation to square things away, and he's made it into spawn. Harmon, if he dies here, this could go horribly wrong.
It's actually a run it back use. Baby J holding down the side. Screwface finally taking a step back to try and help his team get on, but he's the lone member for now. Neural theft goes through. Harmon still holding it down. The information is there. Raucus finds the kill. A 3v2 in favor of FaZe as DarkZero try and battle back to break up the Shriek. Zachary expects somebody to push out towards spawn, and, well, shots on target. They're going to land as Kohler, the last one standing, as the spike ticks down. It's low HP on 1, but the other 2 here for FaZe. Incredibly healthy. Position given up. Kohler waiting for the next one to push. That Cam not in a great spot either as he peeks out. It's a headshot for Raucus. It's another kill. What I was saying a bit earlier, Mimi, is we talk about the head-to-heads and, you know, the Sentinel players being Kohler and Baby J. They're the new guys on the block. You know, the Jets, we love to see that because the operators come out. But Raucus and Zachary, more so Raucus here in this game, but in the last game it was Raucus and Zachary clutching just about every chance they got. And then in this one, Raucus, he's 14-4, I believe is what that said. And every single kill has been some kind of impact frag, whether it be closing out the round or getting 3Ks on thrifties. Those 14 kills, they're not just coming for free. He's not lurking and finding these weird, awkward ones. Every single one of them has had such a huge impact on every single round, and now 7 picked up by FaZe, and they were down 4-1 at one point. DZ can only hope for a 7-5 again, and you have to hope here on Haven that their defense is going to be just as strong as their attack on Ascent.
God, it's really hard to say because the tactical side is very good for FaZe. We have to wait on that thought because Screwface is in trying to make this space a la Baby Bay, and he makes the space, but he falls. So does the rest of his squad. Baby Bay still hitting shots. Pick on the up. It's flawless for FaZe to close out an 8-4 half. That is just, that's not great for DZ. That momentum got completely out of control. FaZe streaking together 7 rounds in a row. And what's tough, they don't even kind of shut that down at the end. They go into this next pistol round with the momentum against them. They lose this pistol, and I could very easily see FaZe just kind of bowling them over, sending us to a 3rd map. It's a heartbreaking way to end it up for DZ, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, that was a round, just like we're seeing here in this replay, where FaZe was thriving in the cast. Maybe they hit a shot that was not only a quick scope, but it was through the beam of the Hunter's Fury. Absolutely insane. And like you said, all the momentum coming into this pistol, they surely should secure this one as a dart out towards garage, looks for some early information for a nice C split. Kohler gonna be holding it down with Ange. Hot Hand's gonna stop a push for now, so Two from FaZe are halted. The curveballs get traded out. Shots on target for range. Color's able to find another nice trap wire, and you can't get through that one this time around as 2 kills are going to be traded back. Anderson has taken a position of his fallen teammates, not able to find anything as the shock darts only get a bit of chip damage. And the 2 remaining, and Screwface and Harmon look to bring up the rear out towards the defender side and spawn, and they're all starting to fall once more. It's a 3K for Baby J and the pistol round to FaZe.
That was such a weird timing for Anderson because he was the first man to rotate in, looking to back up his teammates that were still fighting on the site. But by the time he finds his position up towards logs, his team's already dead. He's practically throwing away a 1v3 there, and it's not necessarily his fault because it was a tough decision. Do we fall back now that my team's dead, or do we commit to this fight? But unfortunately for him, commitment, probably not the decision there. It gives away that man advantage, and it puts DZ into an almost impossible retake. Again, that's another situation where FaZe, they create that chaos and they just absolutely succeed in it.
Another play towards mid. This time, some attention out towards B. Baby Bay's able to find that first kill. Takes a little bit of damage, so maybe sheriff shots here from Anderson will get something done, but they're expecting DarkZero to push. That's exactly what's happening, but it's not happening out towards mid. It's happening towards C long. The cam is up to try and spot anything out. Maybe spotting out the toe there. It does get the ping. They do find the frag, and now they open things up out towards C. Baby J still playing around. C long, and Polar goes wide on the shots. Another flawless here on the docket for FaZe, and with 1 more kill remaining. 5 still standing. Exactly what we get. A 3K from Zachary. Secure a flawless round for FaZe. 10-4 the scoreline. DarkZero with their first rifle round. They got a whole lot of splaining to do, Mimi.
10-4 is one story. 9 rounds in a row is another, even more compelling one. DZ has not had any opportunity to really shut down the streak of rounds that FaZe has pulled out. So now, for this DarkZero squad, how can they change things up? In this one, they have the superior buy. They have an Odin for Harmon. They have rifles across the board for everyone but Anderson. But it's still going to be tough because FaZe's bonus is actually quite strong. Spectres, 1 Bulldog to work with, and their pacing has been very quick. Chaos is where lesser weapons strive. It's where FaZe strives. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they could pull something off here. However, Anderson ready with the paranoia, and it goes huge. No one can see a thing. The Spectre good enough for 2, and he'll fall back. Advantage with DZ.
And that is the Anderson way. That's how the game started. It was Anderson finding multi-kills and opening up a whole lot of space for DarkZero, and then just started to flounder a bit. Got a little cold and wasn't on that same hot streak. Now right back to it here on one of, if not the most important round. If DarkZero lose this one here, the next time we see them with a full buy that actually packs a punch should be on match point. So this is a great start. Only a 1-player lead though, and Anderson did take some damage on the way out. And with all that accuracy, or all that activity, excuse me, over towards C, it's pulled everybody that way. So now the A site has been assumed. Raucus looking to get the spike down. Dark covers. Just biding time here. Is going to go for the plant. Kohler gonna wait as well for the rest of the team to bring up the rear. Zachary goes into the dark cover, looks to find something, not gonna get it. Now DZ have to work against the clock in a 4v3 retake.
Late lurk through mid from Baby J,
God.
trying to shut something down. He could end this all right here, right now. And Baby J spots the counter flank. Tanner, this could end it all.
This could end it all. Paranoia goes through. Only 1 kill found as Harmon falls. Anderson is there to trade. It's 3K as Zachary peeks out from that default position. They're running out of time, Mimi. They have to get it done right here, right now, and they just don't have it. The play from heaven is FaZe. They lose 2 members early, but they close it out. And the game closed out here just shortly after.
Oh my god, that round is so bad for DarkZero. They had the late flank through mid to shut that down, but Baby J just a little bit quicker. It's only a 2K, but he completely turns the tide of this round. It ends with Kohler looking a little bit lost. They're holding towards hell. The swing from main and a heads-up teleport from Zachary towards heaven. These rounds cannot be slipping away from DZ, and they just have not caught a break. FaZe just firing on all cylinders here, and I mean, I don't know why this chat pause is so late, to be honest. It's a good one, after this round, because that was a complete tilter, right? Losing out to a rough buy like that, to a crazy lurk from Baby J, but it's been 10 rounds, Tanner, and we're only now seeing attack. I don't know. I don't get it.
This is, I think, something that we kind of get throughout the entirety of the scene. It's very rare that we actually see tactical timeouts. So I'm hoping, just like you are and what we're talking about right now, is we see a bit more of this to even to not only stop some of the momentum, but if you start getting some momentum yourself, you start winning some rounds, but they're narrowly getting closer. Maybe you call a timeout and say, okay, guys, what do we change up here, right? Sure, we've got 4, 5, 6 in a row. Let's take a timeout. Let's slow things down. Let's figure out how we are for sure going to secure the next round, right? There are so many decent opportunities to take those tacticals. And now I said that we might not see a buy until the end of the game. Well, we get one, and it's a pretty lackluster one. The DarkZero need to come up huge with this yard sale buy. The flash out towards mid. Corey gonna take down the imposter. Range now off the board. Means Flash is gone as well. Outside of that paranoia, recon bolt gonna be sent out. Harmon looking for something, and unfortunately going fishing. Finds nothing. The hatless Cypher sneaks away. Baby J, you weasel, able to stay alive for just a moment longer. DarkZero just failed to find anything here early in this round.
Oh, this timing is so good for Baby J. He's made his way into window. Harmon, there's no way he expects this. Yeah, completely caught off guard. Marshall towards long, not connecting his shot. It will now. Baby Bay down. He needs a little more, though. Another shot. That one misses. And FaZe find advantage. 4 alive. Kohler in a clutch. It's a 1 versus 4. And just a well-played anti-force buy from FaZe. They spread out their default, fight out the aggression towards mid, and catch a nasty timing in towards the window room. Kohler, we know he's so good with this Sheriff, but in a 1v4, I don't know if he's good enough to keep this squad off match point.
Finds the first, 21 health. Fortunately, it's not great. And Zachary comes leaping around the corner. 12-4 is FaZe. Look to close things out here on Haven. It's going to take 8 in a row from DarkZero. Again, the economy not in the best spot. And, well, you take a peek at the score feed here, and you see a lot of red on that one. It's FaZe for the last however many in a row. I believe 11.
Yeah.
This is reminiscent of what we saw in the series where FaZe dropped a map before. They dropped the map, but then the next 2 maps that they won were just dominant. And this, being the first one, scares me for map 3, but we're not there yet. FaZe looks to go aggressive out towards A. Another dink, so another bit of damage. So not too bad from Kohler there, but what does that mean? As Zachary goes onto the site, he's unanswered for now. Screwface able to find one, but we go back and forth on the kills. Angel's able to send the run it back. Right back, so traded out ultimates. DarkZero, at the end of the day, still a player down.
Yeah, they're down a player, and look at the space that FaZe has to work with. Raucus will be the first man in towards this site. The orb available. No one going for the recovery quite yet. They're just going to commit to this spike plan. DZ still fractured. Spike will go down. It's just this retake, and the weaponry not stellar to do so.
The utility traded out there. As Harmon pushes on, it's Baby J to close it out. Who better than? In 13-4 fashion, we hop away to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be prepping for Icebox.
Your purchase could be free when you use your Credit Karma Visa debit card. Free groceries, free gas, or even a free TV. It's called Instant Karma, and you can only win it from Credit Karma Money. Open your account for free in the Credit Karma app. Credit Karma Money. Progress starts here.
Change of range. Team, are you ready?
Ready. Ready.
Trading's tough. It's not for everyone. Get ahead of the curve with Pepperstone's market analysis and access to a choice of platforms.
No matter how hard or how far we push ourselves, we can never go further than when we push each other. Alone, we are small. But together, we become giants.
Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 back
Welcome back, Valorant fans, to the round of 32, where we're 2 maps deep looking to get into the third. But before we get there, another huge shout out to a partner here powering the VCT in Zowie and their BenQ monitors. And if you guys are wondering why mostly all of the professional Valorant players are using these monitors, it's because they're truly designed for the FPS community. Not only do they have the dynamic accuracy and color vibrance, but the monitors themselves make it easier for you to track enemies, control your weapon spray, and secure the site for your team. And they've got the in-game performance, the in-game reliability, speed, and clarity that you need, as well as comfort on the eyes. And if you guys want to learn more, you can head over to zowie.benq.com for more information. And if you want to learn about what the dynamic accuracy is and how it can affect your gameplay, just search "What is DIAC" to skip right to the good stuff. Now, speaking of the meat, the potatoes, it's all right here. It's all in front of us. The round of 32, and this matchup between FaZe Clan and DarkZero looks to conclude on Icebox, Mimi. But in getting to Icebox, you know, this didn't look too good. This is a FaZe highlight reel for sure.
Yeah, it was 12 rounds in a row that they won, Tanner. Like, DC have those first 4 couple of rounds, right? They win 2, lose their bonus, and then they come right back swinging with 2. And then they did not win after that. Early on, these plays from Baby Bay on the space creation, the retakes were looking crisp. The kind of calculated aggression was good. They were never in a position where they were doing the same thing twice. Never in a position where it felt like DZ had a good read. And, well, as a result of that, they just kind of got plowed over. And you brought this up during the cast, but it gets me a little worried for DZ because this has been kind of FaZe's look. They lost a map to Frail Males. And it was also that Ascent map. And then they came back on Icebox and in Haven pretty dominantly to shut things down. It was a 13-3 on Haven and the 13-9 on Icebox. And with Icebox where we're going next, it's not a bad map for DZ, but FaZe with this new roster have looked very strong on this. I could see this 2-1 swinging the way of FaZe, especially with the outcome of that last map, because I have a feeling like these players are just feeling great right now, right? Like they're hyped, they had a rough first map, and now they're just right back in it. They're confident, they're feeling great, and they can try and take this one out. It is, of course, that map pick of FaZe, which makes it, I mean, all the more better for them.
And we take a peek at how we've got to where we are, 15-13 on Ascent, the way of DarkZero, then a pretty dominant 13-4 on Haven for FaZe. Icebox is where we are left, and if you guys are taking a peek out in the Twitter sphere, I actually saw that Kohler said, hey, well, Icebox it is, and I'm pretty sure I do better in the cold than the rest of these guys. So maybe Kohler looking to have a pop-off performance. And this is where we get to see one of the most important things that you don't get when watching these games, or if you don't talk to the players directly, is we get to take a peek at the mental, right? We get to understand kind of where the teams are at. Is DarkZero kind of backs against the wall? And I say backs against the wall, it's 1-1. But I feel like it's more so a lot more pressure on DarkZero because they're coming off of a 13-4 loss. That was very dominant. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to kind of maneuver through Icebox as a whole, as a team, as a composition, and try and battle back to stay alive here, because the winner moves forward to the round of 16, and then the winner of the round of 16 is one of the squads that will qualify. So somebody has to go home right here, right now, and we take a peek at the compositions. Baby J gonna flex a little bit on us, show us the Yoru. Won't give it to us though, unfortunately.
Pain, suffering even. Yoru, I don't think he's going to be used by too many people. I think someone was playing him yesterday. I think it was Stanny playing it pretty consistently. But FaZe, they're sticking to something a bit more normal. I think it is important to note that this is one of the few maps where Baby J is off his Jet. I think he used to play the Jet even, but he's elected for the Raze here, which, again, it's interesting for me. This is a really strong map for Jet. This is a really strong map for Baby J on Baby Bay on the Jet, the other baby in the server. But he's electing for that Raze, even after the changes to her pricing. So we'll have to see what he can get done with her. Over on the side of DZ, it's very normal. Again, it's the Viper up for Anderson. It's that solo controller initiation, double duelist, and then the Sage to close things up. Excuse me. It's actually Kohler sticking with that. So it is just Screw on that duelist, and I'm a fan of the comp. I think this is kind of the more defaulted, utility-heavy showing that we see from a lot of teams these days. I actually liked what we saw from the KJ on Kohler in that first map. I think that, while Cypher's great, KJ has a lot more adaptability, especially in how good her ult is.
Yeah, and so this is actually a comp for FaZe that is new. It's kind of the new comp on the block. The last time we saw them playing Icebox, not here in Stage 3, before anybody goes and corrects me, they were actually rocking the Omen. They weren't using the Viper, and since we've seen them last, they've kind of added that adaptation. And I think Zachary, this is really cool to me, because Baby J coming into the squad is still playing that Sentinel role, but back when it was Marved, Zachary and Marv were kind of bouncing back and forth between playing the Sentinel and the controller. And now with Baby J on the Sentinel role, Zachary can just stick to the controllers and just play the controllers nearly perfectly, or almost flawlessly, like we've seen in this series. As far as the Sova, still struggling a bit. Harmon gonna miss out on the shock dart there, but it's looking like a not so quick hit towards A. FaZe make sure they do their due diligence, and they've got a lot of utility to clear out this side. Unfortunately, with that wall being there, one gonna go over the top here. So Baby J trying to get aggressive with this team, not able to find anything just yet. It's some chip damage traded back and forth, some eye contact, now a spike to be planted, but 5 still alive on both sides of the board as Kohler forced to back away. Low HP finds a dink, 20 health now, so trading it out onto Baby Bay, who will fall the first to go down, but the post plant will ensue. Baby Bay gets stabbed in the back. Corey still able to find another kill and stays alive for a moment longer. It's a back and forth. It's chip damage for chip damage. It's a 3 for 3. alive, and A's just sticking it to get it done. The kills don't matter. You've got ice in your veins.
TZ. So sneaky from them, and what was crazy was that they didn't even have the Sage wall up at the end. Ainge was just sticking it. He was completely unprotected, and no one from FaZe even checks on him. They swing forward, but it's way too late. I don't know if they thought that it was just a baited out tap or something, but you really gotta check those. That should have been around for FaZe, but DZ, I'm sure they're not complaining, because this is the first round out of the last 13 that they have played in this series that they've been able to take. So very good for their mentals to be able to start things off strong here. The buy up looking good. One Marshall out, everyone else sticking with the default Spectres. And so the side of FaZe, not too much invested into this, couple upgraded pistols, but really not too much to talk about. Anderson actually not investing the wall here, which is interesting, likely leaning that a bit more into a retake.
It is heavy aggression out towards B. Rock is still hanging out over towards the A site to try and stop a push coming from that way, as we do get to see the walls split up, and if that wall goes up, it kind of allows for free passage. Oh, no way. Zachary goes unnoticed, spotted there at the end, but stays alive. ABJ and Zachary, the first to fall, as Corey hops on the board, gonna force up the Sheriff in this round and look to do some damage here to the economy. Zrakis bringing up the rear, no longer lurking, trying to link up with the only member remaining here for FaZe in Corey. And they head back over towards the A site. Screwface still holding it down towards B to make sure nothing sneaky's happening. But the remaining three, DarkZero, could be all it takes here. The defense is all they need. First one comes through. Corey falls. Ruckus the next to follow. Shots to knock the Sage off the wire. Not enough to close out the kill. Anderson will secure the second for DZ.
I actually like that wall was saved till late for the side of Anderson. He doesn't overcommit anything because he knows that FaZe is likely to take it quick on that pistol. When the wall does come up, it does a good job at isolating those duels, right? The players that were pushed forward past it were easy pickings with the SMGs, and it kind of shut down that range trade potential that the Sheriff can have on a map like Icebox. So, you know, you don't always have to see that, but I like when people kind of pull out that flexibility, especially as a solo controller, because Viper's main drawback is her inflexibility, and by holding onto the wall, you give her just a tad bit more. And this round is just a bonus for DZ.
A nice bit of information, though. A tag onto 2. Dark goes unanswered for just a second too long. Poison Cloud and Snakebite looking to clear out the back right of sight. Make sure nobody's hiding behind the generator. Corey assumes a nice position up top in heaven. Is able to find another kill off the back end. So the comms a bit stagnant on the side of DarkZero. If not the comms reactions, says Rockus on flank watch. Able to find one, but it's traded out almost immediately. Leaves it all up to Anderson, who closed out the last round, Mimi, but the 1v4... a whole lot more to digest here. It's Baby Bay instead to sit that Viper down. 4 alive for FaZe to find the round on their first rifle, and that's the best you could hope for, right? You don't, just like on the bonus, you would like to get a flawless, or on the anti-eco, excuse me, you would like to get a flawless. On your first rifle round, you're looking for a flawless, or else your economy, like we see on Zachary, I'm going to buy back into this one. It's looking a little tough, so FaZe in a good spot to try and tie things up.
I really like this, the comp and the way that FaZe are playing early on here on the attacker side. So many teams lean very heavily into the utility play on this map. They'll bring out a Skye, they'll bring out a Sova, a Viper, oftentimes double controller. Like, you can lean so heavily into kind of that MOBA style where you're creating space, but you can't account for Screw. Well, maybe you can. Corey, quick shot there from the headshot angle, shuts down the offer. I mean, Screwface, it feels like it's been a game of him getting shut down thus far this series.
Really struggling to find his footing, and that's a big personality on the team as well. So, you know, if Screwface is feeling down, it's hard for the rest of the team, I'd imagine, to keep the upward tempo in terms of energy. Zange does manage to find a trade kill some way, somehow. We'll toss out the barrier orb as well to stop a push from 410. So it funnels everybody on the side. Anderson this time, though, on the flank, and will back away. So an afterthought. Now, FaZe is going to have to keep their eyes open for the flank as the wall goes up. Ainge is there on the other side, able to find one. Baby Bay trades it back, though. 2 remain in a 2v3 situation. The Empress is on, and Corey, for this entire series, Corey has been on. So a very scary Reyna still alive as that spike tap comes through. Nothing just yet. Snakebites Tossed out. Gonna go wide. Will delay for now. So will that kill as the spike falls. It's all up to Corey in a 1v3 situation. 25 seconds on the clock, so plenty to work with. As that ult falls off, you lose the fire speed, you lose the instant heals, and basically the infinite utility that Reyna brings to the table. 14 seconds left as that spike goes down. All three looking to swing, looking to stop the plant, and they will do so. No extra credits as DC secure another. The ultimate's used and a resurrection still available as FaZe will find their second round here on Icebox.
Oh, I thought Screwface had an op. He was still just sticking with that rifle because he lost it a couple rounds prior, but I was completely unprepared for Corey to do this. Like, Corey, sometimes he can just be an X factor, and it was the point I was just bringing up before, where FaZe doesn't need to rely on utility. They're fine to get aggressive and take these duels, and Corey on the Reyna, he feels like a man let loose. He plays it on a lot of the maps for this squad, but I think it's when he is at his strongest, when he's on this Reyna, so very good stuff there. Viper's Pit available for DZ, maybe something early here, and it's the aggression punished by Baby Bay.
They just wanted the ult orb. Baby Bay not going to allow it. Harmon tagged up, forced to back away. Lear slow things down for a second, and Baby Bay will find his second on the round as Kohler only good for one. The Marshal will fall, and Baby Bay trying to net the ace with only one player to worry about, I would imagine. This FaZe squad gonna hand it over to Ruckus. Actually steals it away. Either way, it was an eco round for DZ, but it is now a tie game, and momentum seeming to swing back in favor of FaZe, Mimi.
Aw, come on. Could have given it to him. He was so close to getting it done, in position to close out the ace, but it is stolen away. DZ, they have ults to work with in this one. I'm glad they didn't commit them, though, in that last one. It was just the eco, so nothing huge to write home about, but now they have this pit, and it looks like it's going to be early out towards B, but FaZe, with only Anderson to go up against, despite this pit, they could overwhelm. We know how much Baby Bay likes going in quickly, creating space, even when there's something big like an ult to go up against, but it's actually a much more passive look out of FaZe. No early fight, and Anderson, despite my assumption, is actually saving this pit for the moment.
Oh, that moment now disappears as Baby Bay goes up top with the showstopper and takes heaps. I'm talking heaps of damage falling down there, so maybe an overstep in using that ultimate. Will be healed up, so fortunately because of the fall damage, no shield taken off there, so full armor, full health now off the back end of a healing orb. Kohler the first to peek, and Corey just can't be stopped. Baby Bay right behind him. The duelist going right back to work for FaZe, and this is looking quite possibly, if DZ can't slow things down just like that. Ainge and Anderson hop on the board, and they make me eat my words, Mimi, before I can even say it. A 4v2 situation, but Ruckus still a problem here. A resurrection still available as well, should Baby J choose to use it. And there it is. Things getting a bit more doable. Baby J trades out a kill with Anderson. 3v2. Easy, have a res to work with, but not really in a position to use it. 30 seconds on the clock, Mimi. They got to pull the trigger.
I really do still have that resurrection to work with in DZ's camp. For FaZe, they need to isolate these duels. right here, right now. And Ainge still working towards front side, can play the contact back yellow, and through the sneaky angle, Raucus catches off his opponent. Now the spike is coming down, it's a 2v2, and Ainge just spotted the cape.
One enemy remaining.
Spike planted inside of Tube, leaves things all up to Raucus, but there's nobody better than Raucus right here, right now to stay alive in a 1v2 situation. Just needs to buy time. As a recon bolt gonna do that, it pushes Ainge away. The shot's gonna go wide. Ainge dances around the yellow box, and DZ playing this so passively, not wanting to give up too much, but Screwface steps out a bit too wide and takes a round to the face. Ainge needs to go right here, is able to do so. Now needs to find a defuse. And the operator, plenty of time to do that. DarkZero, it takes everything in their arsenal to find another round and grab themselves another lead.
Yeah, it does. And well, the biggest thing in their arsenal, it seemed to be Ainge there. He had that initial position towards the second story on B, swung in towards the kitchen area and was able to gun down two. The lineup was there, and then he has some utility to support on the fallback. That push from Ainge kind of forces FaZe to try and fight for that refrag, but there was always someone under Tube, and it was a good look from FaZe. I thought that when it came down to the clutch, they did a good job at trying to fight those duels alone, but you can't really deal with Ainge. Now it's attack pause up for the side of FaZe. Last time, it's actually from DZ. Off the round win, they're going to pull out the tech. I think it's because that clutch got so close. They need to talk about that a little bit. They need to talk about some issues of consistency here, because a lot was given away to FaZe in that one, especially that control towards kitchen. Could have lost them the round.
And, I mean, somebody over at DZ must be watching the stream, because this is what we talked about, right? Use these timeouts. Use them nice and early. You've got two of them. Let's go ahead and sauce them out whenever you can. And you can do it off the back end of a win to try. So now you take a look and you say, okay, we picked up some guns. We take a look at our economy, see where we're at, and see what we can buy around it. We have a rifle, an operator. Let's see what else we can do. We also have a lockdown on a Hunter's Fury to play with. How do we want to play with that, right? You see the economy is absolutely in question for this squad right here, right now, as Anderson, the only one left to buy, gonna force up light shields, utility to follow, and a phantom. Now with the two ultimates remaining, Hunter's Furies, a lockdown could get shut down, but that could be an easy read for Harmon to try and find a trade kill onto Raucus. As that Owl drone goes for some early information, it's taken down by Screwface. FaZe look to hit A quick again, but this time it's not Corey leading the charge.
Corey working this lurk. Kohler has his turret up, but I think he could be... No, he's still in range here, so turret should be available to shut this down. Screw, pretty passive with the op, not going for the content play this time. It might just work out with the tailwind up. He's still trying to hold off this site.
The wall goes up, one side goes down as a spike still hanging on. Baby J forced to back away there. Hunter's Fury going to be used. Screwface finds first kill. Corey on the lurk is only able to grab one. It's Kohler to battle back for another as that lockdown goes through. It forces FaZe to rotate towards the B site, and they're running right into the welcome arms of Anderson.
No utility down for him just quite yet, and Baby Bay working this lurk up towards mid, but Screw holding for it. No tailwind, but off this shot he could find it. Steps made, Baby Bay aware, and it's Anderson to anchor the site. Now Spike on the floor, and Baby Bay falls. It's Zachary in the clutch.
30 seconds left.
We talked about Zachary earlier. Unfortunately, it was alongside Raucus that they were able to clutch out rounds, and it was more than 35 health. It's all that separates him from death here, in DZ from a 5th round. Finds Screwface, the operator down, running out of time though. Needs to get the spike planted. Harmon queues up the recon. Bull, not going to get the ping. Another fake, looking to play the kills, and Kohler to come out on top. A 2K for the Killjoy. To net another round. Now growing the lead to 2 from DarkZero, and maybe that's what happens. That's what happens when you take a pause after a round win. You know, sometimes you get stuff done.
Yeah, I thought that round was so important for them. It was kind of one of the pivot points of this early game, because they lose out on that. The economy completely shot, the ops out of their hands, and things start to fall apart. But, I mean, DZ, especially Kohler, we've got to give him props in that round, because his alarm bot setup immediately shut down the lurk from Corey, made sure it was only a 1-for-1 trade. As well, his turret's always been securing up towards Tube. So Kohler has a very crucial job in this, and with that lockdown forcing the rotation into Anderson as well, he had kind of unparalleled impact in that opportunity. Now Screw still with the op in hand, wasn't able to get it done last round. Let's see if he can get it in this time. Ainge instead, 1-for-1.
1-for-1. It's Corey with the squad this time around. The judge starting to come online here for Zachary. The op shot not going to land, and it's all up to Anderson. So FaZe go right back to what was working previously. The A side hits. Anderson has 4 players to worry about. One still way off out towards the spawn, making sure that this Viper isn't looking to play the lurk with the clock ticking. Maybe Anderson waiting for this wall to go down, but it's going to take some time. Finally, we start to see the cracks come on through. Anderson just needs to play for exits, needs to try and keep FaZe on the site here.
And FaZe is already rotating away. They're trying to keep as many guns as possible in this one, and Anderson is able to cut down a single weapon, so a bit of damage done, but he should die here in the end. It's Corey to finish off the cleanup job there, and it's FaZe to get us a bit closer to tied odds. DarkZero, these rounds trading back and forth, have done a number on their economy, and it's another situation where they consider, are we going to force into this? Are we going to commit into this buy, or are we going to kind of concede down onto the save? I wouldn't hate to see them save this one a little bit and try and see if Screwface can get something done with the Blade Storms. And with him just investing in that full armor, I'd imagine that that is the plan. Anderson pulling out a hero rifle as well, as it's a pretty heavy lean in towards A. 3 players here to get something done. So Screwface, what can he do? Because this round really squarely on his shoulders.
Yeah, and he doesn't get anything. I'm not too sure if he got hurt there. But he tries to play that one and done position inside the attacker side at 2. Not able to get it as Baby Bay pushes forward off the back end of a blast pack. And no way, Corey just did him like that. He hops over mid-air, finds a spray down onto one, closes out the kill onto the next, and all Anderson can do is hope and pray as Zachary swings the corner with the judge.
Did they switch games? Are these guys like still playing Overwatch? Because from mid-air, I guess Zach can just get it done for Corey. Corey on a tear early on in the server, making himself a monster on the right. And let's take a look at this one again, because I don't even get it. From mid-air, FaZe, they're just better without the ground under their feet. And that was an interesting investment, because they bought into one hero rifle there. He'll still have money on his back, but Screwface, I think he was hurt, so unfortunately not able to get any kills with Blade Storm. Let's see if he can do a bit better with the opposite. It's a very aggressive pit up from Anderson.
Wow.
I thought it messed up for a second, but it is that normal pit. Expands all the way across the site, but it doesn't matter when B's the decision of FaZe.
Yeah, and I mean, just a beautiful read, right? They know that that Viper's pit online. A's been working. Why wouldn't DarkZero send that pit over towards the A side as Corey finds one onto Kohler, who's trying to lurk on the inside. The op shots to go wide here as well for Screwface. So DarkZero not only working into a player disadvantage, I should say. Make it 2. Zange trades it back. Ainge, just the light here at the end of the tunnel for DarkZero, trying to do everything he can to keep him in this one, and it looks like, based off the economy with 3 remaining, DarkZero probably want to save and look for a 7-5 half.
Yeah, that's really all that's kind of left in the tank for this squad, and it hurts, because it's another one of these situations where FaZe is pulling a streak of rounds together, but it's what they have to do. Screwface's operator, I don't think there's been many rounds where he's been able to get an opening kill, and that's not because he's like whipping every shot. It's because he's just not been given an opportunity. FaZe knows how DarkZero plays, and they're countering it out very perfectly here. That last round, a great example. They knew that A had been working, like you mentioned. Pit's probably going to come down there, so they just make it quick in towards B. Pit from themselves, and the post plant makes the retake impossible and puts them on the track here to maybe even a 7-5 half for an attacker's side. That is, I mean, that's a really insane half to pull on Icebox. That's really impressive. Of course, DZ not going to be out of that one. It was 5-7 on their attacker side, which they came back from on Ascent, but still, it's not the look you want.
Yeah, 6-6 still on the table. The only ultimate available is the Resurrection on the side of FaZe, so it'd be nice to take ABJ off the board nice and early. Looked like Baby Bay actually wanted to grab that Altor, but is going to opt out of that one as Anderson playing the one and done spot, but it gets answered immediately. Corey just can't be stopped. He's in Cerebro right now. He knows everything that's happening on the side of DarkZero. A couple of trade kills. We're gonna make things nice and even for a second. Baby J able to get Corey back online. Ain't there to trade it out, and now one standing. It's Kohler in a 1v1 situation. The spike is down at his feet, and okay, it looked pumped up there for a second. Maybe that was just the angle. Okay, so I'm not wrong here. It does look planted. It is not planted. Zachary needs to retrieve, and the position has been given up. It's only 47 health here, though, for the Killjoy.
So smart from Kohler here. Turret spotted, so he'll push forward past it. Zachary, can he be ready for this?
Oh, there's your answer, Mimi. 7-5 at the half. Kohler falls a little flat in the clutch once more, but the saving grace, Mimi, the saving grace is we get another 7-5 half with DarkZero on attack for the second half. And that's what we saw on Ascent, and it was a DarkZero win. So if you're a DarkZero fan, you're not out of it just yet, but you have to hope they have a fantastic start to this attacking side. I mean, the replays, again, Ainge just trying to be the light in the darkness. Just couldn't do enough. 7-5, it's not bad. The pistol means a whole lot more now.
The pistol means a ton for this squad to try and pull things into their advantage. I mean, DZ's comp actually postures pretty well for the attack because they have that flank watch in way of Kohler. They have lots of utility for these post plants, so they're still very strong here, but FaZe, their aggression, their holds can always be fantastic. Baby J, ooh, spotted on the push forward. DZ, right now they have nothing to flush him out.
And I might have heard incorrectly, but I think it also bought out the tailwind there. Anderson finds the first Zachary there to trade it back. Low HP on the Viper means an easy cleanup kill there. As 3 players playing out towards the B site. DarkZero looked to go elsewhere. Kohler trying to find a lurk, and this is the player to watch here on the pistol round. What can Kohler get done? Boombot goes out towards mid. Baby Bay to try and slow down the push. The footsteps are heard, but how many is the question? Paint shells still in hand. They slow things down. All 4 players remaining here from FaZe are rotating back over towards the A side, and DZ, they're moving, Mimi. They're moving back to B.
Kohler can go huge here. It's a matter of timing, and Zach's ready for it. Kohler's tricks are noted. Every play in the book, FaZe is ready for. Now they have kitchen control. Screw maybe in a position to shut it down, but Plant's in position. Zach spots out Screw. The cloudburst goes up. Both sides still alive. Rock is up above, going for this fight forward, and Zach trying to take it to DZ, but that gets punished. Screw one headshot onto the Raze, so he's down low, but Corey's still alive. Corey is still healthy, and that can be so dangerous.
And that wall is so perfect. They don't really have a way in here outside of basically coming from kitchen. So now it is knifed through. Baby Bay low on HP. Screwface still playing out underneath. Corey finds the first through the wall. The Sheriff penetration getting the damage that they need. And DZ get the pistol that they need. 6-7 the score line as they look to tie things up.
Oh, all right. That is one that's going to hurt just a tad for the side of FaZe because they wanted to keep that train rolling. They had 4 rounds in a row. They wanted to get that momentum at their backs, but DZ, very strong in the pistol and the wall you bring up. I mean, that was like the whole round there. They put a little pressure towards A, throw some rotations, and even though Kohler dies on the lurk, he had bought enough time already that that plant comes down, the wall comes down, and then they have to really only hold a very small area of the map. It's very tough for FaZe to retake. Would have been easier with rifles, but pistols just suck at breaking those walls, and from midair, Baby J plucked out of the sky, and DZ on the road to a tied scoreline.
And that's a good start because we talked about Screwface being a little lackluster on the operator. And if you're going to use the scoped weapon on the attacking side, you need to be hitting those shots. So that first one swings away of DZ, courtesy of Screwface. His Marshall as the snake bite going to stop a push out from yellow for a moment. It is 3 players holding it down from FaZe here. Corey delivered towards that A side as another Marshall shot. Gonna ring true. Not gonna find a target as that spike goes down. Post plant will now ensue as everybody backs away for DZ.
All right. Tucked in towards yellow. The post plant positioning very good here. Look at the utility as well. Pushing forward, shutting down FaZe before they can even get on the site. Wall goes back up and DZ brings the fight out. I mean, this is perfect in the post plant. Again, it's not an over-reliance on Anderson's utility. It's commitment to these fights together. And that's a good look from DZ. They're not getting scared. They're not playing passive. The mental is still good. And with just the pistols, there's no chance left in this for FaZe. Corey hoping for a bit of damage, but doesn't look like it's going to be able to come.
Oh, Ainge taking the fight to him. A flawless round for DarkZero there as they tie things up 7-7. As we know, DarkZero, they like to hang on to these weapons. They like to keep it a bonus. So this is where FaZe can start to mount their comeback. We'll see what Baby Bay is able to invest in. A little bit lower in credits, so it looks like a couple of members going to be on those light shields, which means the Spectres get a bit more value. That Marshall gets a bit more value. This could easily be a bonus win here for DZ.
It really could be. Now, for the side of DZ, what are they going to get done? A spy plant here is really the goal. Get that economy looking fantastic into your 4th round. Get things shut down early. Don't allow FaZe to build an advantage. And oh, this is interesting. Anderson has made it up towards mid. He's joined by Screw. No one's ready for this. And Raucus, look, he's stuck in his drone. This should be a free kill if they check above.
They do find that frag. Corey, though, in an awkward spot. The one and done inside tube. We saw Screwface fall a little flat in this position. Maybe not the case here. The Nanoswarm gonna get shot. The heads up play by Kohler will allow Harmon to find the frag onto Corey, as well as the upgrade in the rifle. This round is playing out perfectly for DarkZero here. Not something that I was expecting as Baby Bay goes running on through the spawn, gets taken down, so no flank watch needed any longer as the last 2 spotted for FaZe up towards heaven. Baby J looking for some damage, but it's a ghost to come out on top. It's Screwface to right those wrongs in the first half. Now Zachary needs to stay alive and try and hang on to the Phantom.
This is such a tough round for FaZe to lose, and it's off of just no one covering mid. The composition for FaZe doesn't have a Killjoy, doesn't have a Cypher, so there's nobody like Kohler to shut down that mid presence without someone actually committing to it. They rotate off of that area very early on. It leads to the death of Raucus, and Kohler's just, he's a very smart man, I guess, for throwing that molly there, for being ready. Someone up top nest. I don't know how he does it, but I think that won the round, because if Corey lives there and he can take down 1-2, then he puts the pressure on, allows his team to come through for the pinch. That changed everything in that round, so huge from Kohler, to say the least.
It literally scrambled my brain. That entire round, the way that it played out for DZ, and then for Kohler on top of it all to then peek that angle. And well, it's not a Marshall anymore, it's an operator. Zach looks to push up, I believe, with the poison cloud in hand, trying to make sure that B long was a scary place to push through. Well, it is a scary place, but it swings the way of DarkZero. Now FaZe on the defensive side of things. Need to be careful. It is just an eco round, so it should swing the way of DarkZero. Flawless fashion is what they're shooting for, but Corey might have other answers. No, it's Anderson to trade out that kill. Baby Bay is there, and the classic is good for 1. With the blast pack around the corner, a dink. He's going to be healed up there as Baby J going to finish off what his teammates started. It's 1 player down for DarkZero. It's 4 for FaZe as Raucus, the last one standing with full utility and a headshot onto Kohler. Things start to get scary. A weapon retrieved in a 1v3.
Yeah, their Viper went down very early, so there's no wall to divide these angles, and the remaining man, Raucus, can be anywhere. Will they extend in towards spawn here, or hold the post plant towards yellow? It seems to be the latter. Raucus working the flank.
And well detected there, Screwface with the flick. The operator starting to come alive here, Mimi. And I know I already said this, but we gave Screwface some slack. We said the operator wasn't great on defense. There's really no angles that Screwface was able to find, no opening kills. But it doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters that you get there. And guess what? Screwface, he's there.
Yeah, that he is. This is a FaZe clan that is very much struggling to find momentum, and there's some of these just weird little mistakes, like Zachary on that early peek with utility in hand. I think he thought his molly was deeper and that it wouldn't be disrespected, but there was a gap to come through, and well, Baby Bay finds a nade kill. Oh, it was the double damage off the molly. Screw disrespected it this time, and that got punished. Anderson does trade, but huge utility combo from FaZe to start things off.
Yeah, heads up play adaptation coming through from the FaZe defense, understanding that these guys are going to be a little disrespectful. Well, let's punish them. That is both players spotted. One tagged out as Baby Bay still on top, maybe expecting a fall, but he's not going to fall back. It's Zachary and Baby Bay to hold it down. B-Long is not free for DarkZero as they continue to fight for it. Baby Bay will fall, and Baby J is looking for a flank here. The resurrection comes through. The operator is back online. Baby J back in the spawn, able to find the first. Looking for some more. Finds Kohler, leaves it all up to the resurrected Screwface, who has 1 HP. An operator in hand and a player behind him. It's Zachary on the backstab, and it's FaZe to cut the deficit to 1.
Oh, that little cocktail of utility was so cool to get things rolling for FaZe, because they know that Screw would likely aggress there again, so the molly gets sent deeper, the paint shells combines, and then this off angle from Baby Bay was just so perfect right up top there, in that he was just able to apply so much pressure while being relatively safe. I think this is one of the hardest angles in the game to get someone off of, because first of all, you're not training your crosshair placement to be ready for up there. Like, where are you supposed to look? It's so hard to say. And secondly, it's almost always in combo with someone towards main. So it's just a great setup from FaZe. Screw has some money to reinvest onto the off. He might just shut down Corey. That he will. Tailwind is used in that endeavor, but it's an opening frag regardless. And with the ults on DZ's side, once they get this spike down, if they get this spike down, it can be very, very hard for FaZe to work their way back in.
And it's a solid player to take off nice and early in the round. You don't have to worry about Corey throwing a wrench into things. As that recall comes on through, Kohler going to be waiting a few seconds to get that turret back online, but it should be there for the post plant. Yowl drone spots on one towards screens. I'm unsure if Raucus was spotted. Now he will be and take a bit of damage as he trades out a drone of his own. Not able to get high enough as the Viper's pick comes down. The wall goes up. The spike looking to get planted as well. Ainge is going to get that one down, working back towards the resurrection. Now Anderson inside the Viper's pit. Oh, so close here. Unbeknownst, obviously, Baby J might find a backstab. Pushing into the pit, but the clock is ticking. And all DZ need to do is run it down.
BJ's position here, very crucial. Oh, there's a pit on top of pit, but one Viper falls. Anderson's pit is gone, but there's still another world to live within here. Showstopper forward, Screw shuts down, resurrection up. What is going on? It's so confusing. In the hell of utility, Screw finds another shot through the smoke with the operator. Spike still not being diffused. Kohler still in close. The flick so precise. Zachary trades, but just listen to the time. There's nothing left. It's over. Everything committed for FaZe, and just nothing working out.
DarkZero Space Jam FaZe. They take away, they're the Monstars here. They take away all their power, and the power that they stole, Mimi, was the strength that they had in the chaos. We go pit for pit. As Anderson dies, Zachary's is the only one standing, and Kohler is just thriving in it. The Hunter's Fury swinging right and left. The Nano swarms, the snake bites, everything. And Kohler is calm, cool, collected. Finds a couple of frags and just enough to run down the clock. DarkZero now on 10 as FaZe forced back to upgraded pistols here. This could be the 11th round for DZ. Oh my god,
Screw, what an entry. Wow, DZ, just everything looking good. Screw had a rough start to this series, and now he's picking up in a big way. His presence being felt. That last round, he got a 3K. I don't even know how he saw people, because there was so much utility going on, but he still got it done. Tailwind will be back off of one frag here, and it's Screw. Of course he's going aggressive. Of course he's looking for more, and he'll find it. Tailwind to back away. FaZe Clan, only 2 members to work with in this retake. Gun recovered, though, for Raucus, so maybe something to do here as he finds Screw, finds a second. Raucus could do this.
Raucus, the clutch master. We've seen it plenty of times here in this series. Now has some information as to where the Killjoy is playing. Unfortunately, both Harmon and Anderson still alive and still unknown. They will find the frag. They will find the round. FaZe will now be on rifles, and quite possibly the last time we see them on rifles, as DZ need 2 more to close things out. And we get to take a peek at that shot again. That is all. It's so mesmerizing to see players use the operator and find kills like that, where you're hitting that narrow shot and finding one of the most important frags in that round.
Wow, that's just insane. FaZe Clan, I'd imagine the mental is not feeling good whatsoever here. There's attack pause coming out, and that's for good reason, because they're just getting bowled over at this point in time. The aggression out of DZ, especially in towards B main in a couple of these rounds, has just been completely unparalleled. I feel like DZ, in the second half, they just got a shot of confidence that's just coursing through them. And FaZe Clan, I don't know. I think that analogy you brought up where they're no longer finding their success in the chaos, that for me, that was like their boat of confidence. When they can chill out in the chaos, that's when they're successful. That's when they're feeling good. And now even that is turned on its head. Where can FaZe lean back on? Because it feels like there's not too much left. This could very well be their last buy. This could very well be their last buy of this entire open of VCT. FaZe is a team I think practically everyone expected into the main event, and they could get upset right here, right now by DZ. I'm sure the players are feeling the pressure. I'm sure the organization is feeling the pressure. And for DZ, they're just riding the rainbow, man. They're straight to the top. They're feeling fantastic, only 2 away from closing this.
And in terms of economy, right, it's going to take 4 in a row to possibly, or for FaZe to possibly go into overtime, 5 in a row to win. And for the next 2 or 3 rounds for DarkZero, they're going to be okay, right? You see Screwface's economy. He's got the operator in hand with 6,400 credits, which means win or lose, another operator going into the next round. So it gets really scary for FaZe. You have to do a whole lot, not only in this round, but in the next and the following. So basically 3 rounds in a row to try and break this economy. And off the back end of that pause there, a very slow start. Both of these teams really understanding what the stakes are here in round 20.
If FaZe wins this, it opens the door back in. They lose this, and it's likely over. Everything on the line here, and what do they have to work with? They have that ultimate, and they actually have a lot of space. Corey pushed up in towards a main, and he'll be kind of the early alarm bell if anything is going down on this side of the map. For DZ, they still haven't shown face in any way. Very patient, very passive. They're allowing Screw to create a little bit of space in mid and try and get something done, but look at this. It's caused FaZe to second guess themselves. Corey has fallen back.
Yeah, well, how about when you hear the most fraggingest player in the lobby pop the Empress, you play slow. That's exactly what happened. I think that's why they were playing slow, and well, you get to see another look at why they were doing it as a duelist starts to come online for FaZe. It's Corey to find one as that Empress falls off. Baby Bay to find another, looking for the spray down, but Harmon is there to trade it back. Close angle, not going to get cleared out. The spray down, the collateral, the 3K for Corey as Ainge, the last one standing, with not enough time on the clock. This is where FaZe needed to battle back to get some momentum back in this game, and they do just that.
They needed a hero, and they called Corey, Mr. Multi-Kill, back online. Even recovers an operator for his comrades. And for the side of DarkZero, I like the call there, right? You wait out the Empress, you chill out for a moment, but they really had no pressure applied. They allowed Corey full space in towards A main. They had someone aggressively holding B main. So they knew that DZ still just had to be chilling out in spawn. They had no reason to rotate. They had no reason to over-aggress. And with those forward positions, it means there's so much for DarkZero to clear out once they do commit. But like you mentioned, so much money for DZ. There's still a buy. There's still an op. There's another chance to reset FaZe.
And that's the op down. A great start as Baby Bay finds the first frag onto Screwface. And the wind starting to get into the sails of FaZe once more. But a resurrection and the run and gun from Kohler. He just throws caution to the wind as Ultimate's traded out. The lockdown gonna fall to the Hunter's Fury, but a player advantage for DarkZero. The blades are online for Screwface. Dude, he need them in a tight spot. And with no shields, that's plenty of health at the operator. Baby Bay gonna make sure Screwface stays dead this time around, finding the second frag onto the Jet. Still a player advantage. Oh my God! Double kill from Baby Bay, the showstopper, looking to do just that in round 21. Harmon, the last one standing in a 1v3 situation, has plenty of time, but how much space, how much room, and how much wherewithal? He finds the first kill, needs to find the next. He's gonna swing out onto Raucus, not able to do it, and Baby Bay, you absolute madman, will push FaZe to double digits.
Wow, I don't know how he gets away with that. The recovered operator into the last round, able to come through in a huge way and pull his team into advantage. Now DarkZero, they're the ones under pressure. They had every advantage here. Now the eco's got to be shaky. The emotions got to maybe start to come into the picture, because that's just something that you really can't account for. Is FaZe really still in this? Does FaZe really still have a chance to close it out? Because it looks likely DZ forced onto this tactical pause.
Wow. Yeah, that is, I honestly feel like this tactical pause bodes well for both teams too, because after a round like that from Baby Bay, you have to imagine the nerves are high. A 4K on it. I think we saw in a video a long time ago. It was Asuna with like an ace clutch or something of the sort and says, hey guys, can we take a tactical timeout? Because I'm a bit shaky after that one. Like I need to catch my breath a little bit and slow down going into this next. So although it is a DarkZero timeout, I don't think that this swings either way for it outside of how DarkZero, again, they want to spend their economy. We're at that round 3 that I spoke about where things start to get shaky. So we'll get to take a peek and see what they're able to muster up. It looks like maybe 4 rifles at the most. They do invest the operator again in Screwface, and they say, hey, let's just go right back to it.
Lots of faith in Screw. I like that. He has the Blade Storms as well. I'd imagine he'll save that for the next round. There is a bit of a technical pause to follow up the tactical, so definitely lots of time for these players to chill out. But I'm actually interested that they chilled out with that B main fight, because they've been playing this kind of default where they play very, very far back, not really applying any pressure, and then it's been late round A hits in both of those last 2. And I'm not a fan of it, because it's really not forcing FaZe to do anything. FaZe feels comfortable when you give them that much space. I think the DZ need to go back to their old ways of fighting that mid control a little bit, fighting that control towards B main a little bit, because you can't let this squad control all the information. DZ's mid-rounding was strong when they were able to create that misinformation, to create that deceit, or to just go for the fast executes towards B. I think either way, something needs to change up, and well, there's been plenty of time to talk about it. They obviously have a coach in facility with them at their boot camp, so that's even better to have another man in the conversation. Well, they seem to agree with me. B site, maybe the look, Screwface waiting for the molly to fade. There's a Roomba coming forward. No one, though, kind of directly controlling this. Baby Bay's leaving.
3 players have been moved over towards the B site, and they are looking to play a bit more passively. Nice Poison Cloud going to funnel them all to that far side of long. As Baby Bay looks to swing with the operator. Screwface spots the elbow, takes the shot. The shot will land as Baby Bay falls. It's operator down, and we'll see if Zachary wants to try and retrieve that one, or if they continue to hold it down. 2-2 split here. It's actually Corey, the only one on A, as Raucus is backed away towards that spawn, not spotting anything out towards mid. Not a whole lot of ground assumed here. Baby J, though, takes the operator out, so op for op we go as Harmon trades it back. The Bulldog takes a bite out of the Sage, and DZ find themselves the player lead once more.
And look how much position they have. They're leaving Kohler to try and lurk, and this position could go so huge late round. No matter which site they commit to, they'll have him here. Screen down, Zachary up aggro. This is really all on Zachary. He dies here, and the round's over for FaZe, but they line up. Only one, trade stay even, and remember where Kohler is.
And that's not a bad trade there. It is a player advantage still for DZ, but that flank is coming through. That player advantage is the one on the flank. That spike needs to get planted. Ainge will get it down. The healing orb helps top off the Viper as well. He backs away towards yellow. Kohler with the backstab. Raucus goes down, and now Corey doesn't know what to think. Out towards Snowman. Stuck in no man's land. As that turret will get all the information as Corey looks to push up through the smoke. Anderson will find the shots, and DarkZero will find map point.
It's the mid-rounding. It's so strong. They apply pressure mid, and then FaZe really doesn't know what to think. They posture Zachary towards that aggressive angle, the one and done, and well, it's just one. That's never going to be good enough in a situation like this. Kohler going huge in the late round off his lurk, and this is really the first time we're seeing these lurks start to go huge. He's been very controlled about them. Not overcommitting to these lurks, not overcommitting to these risky plays, and he does it exactly when the squad needs it, when they needed it most, because that was the round that either decided if we tie up and DZ's eco gets broken, or if DZ find match point. They're on the verge of upsetting FaZe, of sending FaZe out of the qualifier. It'll only take one more round, but FaZe, we know how resilient they can be. It's only 2 for them to pull this back.
Owl Drone spots out the position of Baby Bay. Boombot going to be used. Baby Bay looks to push forward. And with a situation like this is the second time we're getting to see it, that Baby Bay gets spotted but doesn't leave, right? The smart play is, if you get spotted, you got to go. They're going to, swing that angle. But like you pointed out, Mimi, you don't really have the crosshair placement for that. You're not swinging that angle and just hitting that shot perfectly. So Baby Bay can still remain aggressive over towards B-Long with the high ground. Not spawning out anybody just yet. Maybe the drop down herd as that wall goes back up. The rest of the squad for DarkZero, though, pushing through tube. all the way back towards the defender-sided spawn. It's a really nice call by FaZe. They're expecting this one to come on through. Baby Bait, the first to find somebody as that recon bolt goes down. The blade's still online. Baby Bay waits on the other side of the wall, and the timing is there. Anderson's able to find a kill. Traded right back, though. So a 2-for-1 as that spike goes down. FaZe need to hold on as Raucus swings right into the crossfire, and Harmon with the backstab. Once more, Raucus finds nothing. Now, Zachary and Corey need to come up huge. In a 2v4 situation, they've got the weapons. But again, do they have the wherewithal? One spotted out, shots on target. Cloudburst to get Screwface away. Playing with the blade still. Zachary finds the first. This is looking good for now. The Nanoswarm slows things down for just a second. FaZe eventually going to have to pull the trigger on it. Hunter's Fury going to find the tag, but to go halfway with it. Corey able to find another kill, but now Corey, the last one standing. And again, it's the clock that works against FaZe. It's Harmon for a 3K, and it's DarkZero to send FaZe packing. We'll be back to break down the series and so much more after a short break.
Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'm just gonna let you know that tomorrow we're gonna have Sentinels versus Sonics, and we're gonna start 2 hours earlier, and after that we're gonna have 100 Thieves versus Noble, and day after tomorrow we're gonna have 2 more matches, and that's gonna be Andbox versus Genji, and after that Cloud9 Blue versus Rise. Thank you.